Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is just $3.49 right now, and this is a cult classic that still holds up in all the best ways. You play as Kyle Katarn, a former Jedi who finds himself pulled back into a fight against the dark side, and the lightsaber combat and force powers make for a gameplay loop that's still satisfying over 20 years later. The campaign has strong level design, and while the AI is old school and a bit janky, the tension and challenge more than make up for it. Fans of Star Wars lore will find tons of love here, and the game hits that sweet spot of nostalgia and genuinely solid gameplay. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 12 hours to platinum. Metro Redux is down to $4.49 and bundles together two fantastic post-apocalyptic shooters with excellent atmosphere and world building. You get both Metro 2033 and Last Light in this package, fully remastered with improved visuals, better mechanics, and two unique difficulty modes that dramatically change the way you approach the game. Whether you prefer stealth or full-on action, the Redux editions give you options, and both campaigns are packed with memorable set pieces and survival horror tension. It's a surprisingly emotional ride too, with moments of beauty scattered among all the bleakness. It's an 86 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10 average, and about 40 hours to get the platinum in both games. Ikaruga is on sale for $4.99, and this is one of the most intense and iconic shmups ever made. The twist here is its polarity switching mechanic. You absorb bullets of your own color and die to the opposite, which turns every level into a mind-bending bullet ballet. Say that 10 times fast. The visuals are crisp, the boss fights are brutal, and even though the campaign is short, mastering each level takes dozens of hours. It's a purist's dream and one of the most rewarding games in the genre if you're willing to dig deep and learn its rhythm. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and around 100 hours to platinum. Indigo Prophecy, also known as Fahrenheit, is just $2.24 and offers a weird, fascinating blend of supernatural thriller and interactive drama. From the developers of Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, this was one of the early cinematic narrative games, and it still has charm despite the dated visuals and sometimes laughable dialogue. You're juggling multiple playable characters and trying to unravel a mystery involving ancient rituals, government conspiracies, and some really unexpected plot turns. It's clunky at times, but its ambition and atmosphere make it well worth revisiting. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Guacamelee 2 is on sale for $4.99 and delivers another excellent mix of Metroidvania exploration, tight platforming, and ridiculous lucha libre flair. The combat is snappy and satisfying, the levels are full of clever puzzles and secrets, and the game just doesn't take itself too seriously. The humor and style are part of the fun. Co-op play is available too, so if you've got a second controller, this is a great one to play with a friend. It improves on the first game in just about every way, and the late-game platforming challenges are actually pretty brutal in a good way. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Cinemora EX is just $3.99, and it's a stylish side-scrolling shoot-'em-up with a really unique time-based mechanic. Instead of a traditional health bar, you're racing against the clock. Every hit takes time off the clock, and killing enemies adds more time, which gives the gameplay an incredible sense of urgency. It's also one of the better-looking shmups out there, with a surprisingly emotional narrative and multiple ships and loadouts that keep the gameplay fresh. If you like bullet hell games, but want something with more narrative weight and slick visuals, this is an easy pick. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 35 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Metro Exodus is down to $4.49, and it's a massive, open-ended evolution of the Metro formula that still manages to feel grounded and tense. You leave the tunnels and explore large, semi-open environments across a post-apocalyptic Russia, and the mix of scavenging, stealth, and story creates a survival shooter that's both gripping and surprisingly beautiful. The day-night cycle and weather systems add to the immersion, and the story is a strong send-off for Artyom's journey. It's a beefy game with excellent pacing, and the upgrades and crafting systems feel meaningful without being overwhelming. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon is just $4.99, and it's a love letter to old-school Castlevania fans done in a tight, retro-styled package. You can switch between 4 different characters on the fly, each with unique abilities, which makes every level feel fresh depending on your playstyle. The pixel art and soundtrack are excellent, and the game has a surprising amount of replay value thanks to branching paths and multiple endings. It's short, but it's packed with detail and polish, and the difficulty curve is just right for classic platformer fans. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Invisible Ink Console Edition is down to $4.99, and this is one of the smartest turn-based tactics games you can play on console. It's a cyberpunk stealth strategy game where every move counts, and your agents are always one misstep away from disaster. The art style is slick, the roguelike elements keep each run fresh, and the tension of infiltrating enemy bases without setting off alarms never really fades. It takes patience and precision to master, but it's immensely satisfying when a plan comes together. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. Stories Untold is a steal at just 99 cents and delivers a uniquely unsettling experience across 4 short, interconnected episodes. It blends text-based adventure gameplay with puzzle solving and horror storytelling, and every episode introduces new twists that tie back into the central mystery. The atmosphere is thick, and even though the gameplay is relatively simple, it's the presentation and narrative design that really shine. It's a short game, but it sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and just 2 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Moonlighter Complete Edition is down to $2.39 and blends shopkeeping, dungeon crawling, and action RPG mechanics in a surprisingly addictive loop. You explore procedurally generated dungeons at night to gather loot, then sell that loot by day to upgrade your gear and expand your shop. The pixel art is gorgeous, the soundtrack is relaxing, and the gameplay is deeper than it initially seems. If you enjoy that rinse and repeat style of progression and love a good indie grind, this is definitely worth grabbing. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Hotline Miami Collection is just $3.99 and includes both games in this ultra-violent, neon-soaked top-down shooter series. It's all about twitch reflexes, brutal trial and error gameplay, and one of the best video game soundtracks ever made. The story is cryptic and trippy, and while the difficulty is no joke, it's also incredibly satisfying to clear out a level flawlessly after countless attempts. These games are fast, intense, and leave a lasting impression thanks to their style and pacing. It's an 80 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10 average, and about 45 hours to get the platinum in both titles. Mark of the Ninja Remastered is an absolutely slick stealth action platformer that's going for just $4.99 right now, and it's one of the best 2D stealth games ever made. You play as a ninja granted enhanced senses through a mysterious tattoo, and the game's all about moving silently through levels, planning your kills, and staying completely hidden in the shadows. The art style is striking, the sound design is crucial to gameplay, and the campaign constantly introduces new mechanics to keep things fresh and tactical. It has a ton of replayability with different approaches, plus challenge rooms and collectibles that really encourage mastery. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 15 hours to platinum. Hopico is just 69 cents and a perfect pick for anyone who loves lightning-fast, twitchy platformers that demand absolute precision. You're essentially leaping from platform to platform in micro stages that last just a few seconds, trying to destroy viruses that have infected the world's gaming systems. The levels are short but brutally difficult, and the game has a hyper-energetic chiptune soundtrack that keeps the adrenaline pumping. It's designed for speedrunners and perfectionists, and each level has multiple ways to optimize your movement. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and around 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Doom 3 is just $3.99, and this one leans more into horror than the traditional run-and-gun action of the rest of the series. It's slower, darker, and more claustrophobic than Doom 2016 or Eternal, but the atmosphere is thick and tense the entire time. You're on a Mars research facility overrun by demons, and you'll spend as much time checking corners and reloading your flashlight as you do blasting enemies with a shotgun. This version includes the Resurrection of Evil and Lost Mission expansions too, giving you plenty of content in one tight little package. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 25 hours to platinum. Lacuna is going for just $1.99, and it's one of the most overlooked narrative detective games on the platform, set in a grounded sci-fi universe with a story that can shift dramatically based on your choices. You play as an agent investigating a political conspiracy, and the game doesn't hold your hand. You're expected to follow leads, interrogate suspects, and draw your own conclusions. The pixel art style adds a moody noir flair, and the branching narrative means your decisions really carry weight without an obvious right answer. It's short but replayable and has one of the more impactful endings you can reach. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and around 20 hours to platinum. Danmaku Unlimited 3 is on sale for just $3.49, and it's an absolute feast for fans of bullet hell shooters with incredibly tight controls and ridiculously beautiful neon-soaked action. You're flying through impossible swarms of bullets with a deep scoring system and different weapon loadouts that encourage experimentation. It's got both a classic arcade mode and a more modern system with upgrades and bomb management, and the soundtrack by Japanese indie band Blankfield is an absolute banger. If you love old-school shooters like Ikaruga or Mushihime-sama, this is one of the best modern entries in the genre. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. Crown Trick is down to just $4.99, and it's one of the best roguelike dungeon crawlers that mixes turn-based movement with real-time combat and enemy manipulation. Every room is a puzzle, and combat unfolds in a satisfying grid-based system where you can set traps, teleport, and manipulate elemental effects to gain the upper hand. It's got an adorable art style and excellent variety in both enemies and weapons, with a steady drip of upgrades and systems that make each run feel fresh. Plus, the boss fights are incredibly creative and keep you on your toes with evolving mechanics. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 35 hours to platinum. Cthulhu Saves Christmas is down to $2.49, and this one's a hilarious, irreverent turn-based RPG that blends Lovecraftian mythos with holiday cheer. You play as Cthulhu himself on a quest to save Santa Claus, and the humor is consistently sharp with tons of parody and fourth wall breaking. It's made by the same team as Cosmic Star Heroine, and while it's short, it packs in fast combat, silly characters, and a surprising amount of heart. Perfect if you want an RPG that doesn't take itself seriously but still delivers satisfying gameplay. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 5 hours to platinum. One Finger Death Punch 2 is $2.24, and it's one of the most satisfying rhythm action beat-em-ups you can play with just 2 buttons. Every move you make is synced to the enemy's positions and timing, and once you get into the flow, it feels like you're starring in your own martial arts movie. The game adds layer after layer of new mechanics and challenges as you go, but the controls always stay dead simple. With over 400 levels, dozens of survival modes, and a totally absurd sense of humor, it's pure arcade-style fun. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Luminous Remastered is on sale for $4.49, and it's still one of the most hypnotic and engaging puzzle games ever made. You're matching blocks in time with a constantly moving beat line, so every match becomes part of the soundtrack. It's a perfect fusion of rhythm and puzzle gameplay that only gets more intense the deeper you go. This version features a remastered soundtrack, HD visuals, and multiple challenge modes that'll absolutely test your reflexes and pattern recognition. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and around 75 hours to platinum. Don't Starve Together Console Edition is just $4.49, and a phenomenal survival sandbox that shines brightest in co-op, though you can absolutely play it solo. You'll need to manage hunger, sanity, and health while crafting tools, building shelters, and avoiding terrifying monsters that emerge at night. The art style is gothic and hand-drawn, and the seasonal cycle introduces new threats and opportunities every time the world changes. It's tough as nails, but also deeply rewarding if you can get a friend or two to join in. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 80 hours to platinum. Batbarian, Testament of the Primordials, is just $2.99, and it's a hidden gem of a Metroidvania with surprisingly witty writing, clever puzzles, and solid platforming combat. You play as a barbarian, accompanied by a magical bat who helps you solve light-based puzzles and fight off subterranean monsters. The world design is tight and interconnected with tons of secrets to uncover, and the humor is consistent without being overbearing. It also features branching dialogue, optional challenges, and multiple endings to encourage exploration. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 15 hours to platinum. Songbird Symphony is down to $4.24, and it's one of the most charming indie platformers out there, blending light rhythm mechanics with heartfelt storytelling. You play as a tiny orphan bird named Burb, searching for his origins, and each new level introduces musical mechanics tied to learning songs that progress the story. The art is bright and adorable, and the soundtrack is filled with original songs that evolve as you interact with the world. It's a feel-good game that still has some light challenge in its rhythm segments and optional secrets to find. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 4 hours to platinum. Slime Rancher is down to $4.99, and this colorful first-person farming sim has a surprisingly relaxing loop where you vacuum up adorable slime creatures, feed them, and manage your ranch economy on a distant alien planet. It's easy to get lost in the satisfaction of building up your farm, discovering rare slimes, and exploring the wild zones around your base. While it's not a very demanding game, the satisfaction comes from the way everything slowly scales up and opens up, with tons of charm and a lighthearted tone throughout. The controls are smooth, and it plays great on console too. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Rainbow Billy, The Curse of the Leviathan, is just $4.99 right now, and this one's a really unique blend of turn-based battles, puzzle solving, and heartfelt storytelling, all wrapped up in a cheerful, hand-drawn visual style. There's no actual violence in this one. The quote-unquote battles are more like conversations where you learn about each creature's worries and help them through emotional problems. It sounds simple, but it's actually really well written and has a ton of emotional range. There's a bunch of accessibility options too, so this is a great choice for all ages, or if you're just looking for a more feel-good, wholesome experience that still has a good gameplay loop. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Please Fix the Road is on sale for $1.99, and if you're into minimalist puzzle games that really get your brain working, this one's worth grabbing. You're presented with a simple problem. The road is broken, and you have a limited set of tools to rearrange the pieces and fix the path from start to finish. The puzzles slowly introduce more mechanics like shifting terrain or altering pieces in strange ways, but the game never stops being relaxing thanks to its chill music and pastel visuals. It's one of those games that's perfect for short bursts, and you'll probably keep saying just one more puzzle. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 8 hours to platinum. Amnesia Rebirth is just $4.49, and a great pick if you're in the mood for something atmospheric and terrifying. It's a direct follow-up to the original Amnesia and leans hard into psychological horror with intense audio design and a narrative that really gets under your skin. You'll explore eerie ruins, solve environmental puzzles, and try to keep your character from totally breaking down as you uncover disturbing memories and escape otherworldly horrors. There's very little combat here, it's all about survival and storytelling, but it sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and takes about 20 hours to platinum. Ghost 1.0 is just $1.99, and don't let the price fool you. This is a full-fledged Metroidvania with surprisingly deep combat and progression. You play as a high-tech agent who can hack into enemies and devices, and the way you move and shoot feels super tight. There's also a whole upgrade system through your robotic sidekicks, which adds depth to both exploration and replayability. It's got a good sense of humor, great pixel art, and a slick techno soundtrack to back it all up. Definitely a sleeper hit for fans of platformers or sci-fi action games. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 20 hours to platinum. Far Lone Sails is just $1.49, and this is one of the most atmospheric games on the list. It's more of an experience than a challenge. You pilot a strange, ramshackle land ship across a desolate wasteland, solving minor physics puzzles and keeping your vehicle moving forward while soaking in the melancholic world. There's no dialogue, no enemies, just beautiful art direction and subtle storytelling told through the environment. It's short but emotionally impactful and incredibly polished. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and takes about 8 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Elite Dangerous is just $4.99, and if you're the kind of player who loves deep space sims, this is by far the biggest time sink in the sale. You start with a small ship and a few credits and can carve out your path as a bounty hunter, trader, explorer, or pirate in a galaxy that mirrors the actual Milky Way in scale. There's a massive amount of content here, especially if you're into customizing your ship or diving into community goals and player factions. It's a steep learning curve, but it's one of the most rewarding sandbox games out there if you put in the time. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and it can easily run you over 400 hours to platinum. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut is down to $2.99, and this is a criminally underrated precision platformer with a great core mechanic. You can switch between two sisters on the fly, each with their own abilities, and the entire world transforms depending on who you're playing as. It's fast, fluid, and the level design keeps pushing your reflexes without ever feeling unfair. The director's cut adds extra levels and tighter polish, making this the best version to play. Just be warned, the platinum is brutal. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty is a rough 10 out of 10, and you're looking at 25 hours to platinum if you're good enough. Buddy Simulator 1984 is going for $3.99, and this is one of the more experimental picks here. It starts out like an innocent text-based buddy app and slowly evolves into something way darker and more psychological. It plays with genre, expectation, and even your own behavior as it builds towards its eerie conclusion. The charm comes from its ability to shift between styles while keeping a central mystery intact, and it's surprisingly touching at times. If you liked games like One Shot or Doki Doki Literature Club, this one's in the same lane. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. The Night Witch is just $4.99, and it's an extremely stylish mix of Metroidvania platforming and bullet hell shoot-'em-up action, with a unique twist in how you upgrade your spells using a deck-building mechanic. You fly around 2.5D levels, dodging dense waves of projectiles while building a magical arsenal to suit your playstyle, and the combat feels smooth and fast-paced throughout. There's also a surprisingly strong story with themes of corruption and resistance that play into how you level up. It's one of the more under-the-radar picks in this sale, but well worth a look. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 12 hours to platinum. Riff Tracks, the game, is only $4.49, and this one's all about party game laughs. It's from the same creators as What the Dub, and it plays very similarly. You watch intentionally terrible movie clips and try to come up with the funniest lines to fill in the dialogue, with other players voting for the best ones. It supports up to 6 players directly, but others can vote as part of the audience too. It's a blast if you're playing with friends, especially in person or over a stream. Short but sweet and very replayable with the right group. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and you can knock out the platinum in about 2 hours. The Last Show of Mr. Chardish is just $2.49, and this one's more of a narrative experience with some light puzzle platforming sections. You explore the legacy of a famous theater director through vignettes that span different game genres, from walking sim to stylized platformer to abstract puzzle. The art direction is unique, and each quote-unquote play you enter has its own visual flair and mechanical twist. It's not particularly difficult, but it's a creative and emotional ride worth seeing through. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. At just $2.49, Nexomon is an indie monster-catching RPG that wears its Pokemon inspiration proudly, with over 300 unique creatures to catch, train, and evolve as you work your way through a surprisingly fun and humorous storyline. The turn-based combat has a satisfying rhythm to it, and despite the simplicity of the mechanics, there's enough strategic depth to keep battles interesting, especially later on when your team starts taking shape. The variety of biomes adds visual flair, and the game's self-aware humor constantly pokes fun at RPG cliches in a way that makes it feel fresh rather than derivative. It's not just a love letter to the genre, it's a full-on revival that fans will appreciate. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Next is the colorful and challenging 2D platformer K's and the Wild Masks, which is down to $3.99. This one is absolutely for fans of old-school platformers like Donkey Kong Country, with tight controls, snappy level design, and a vibrant, hand-drawn art style that gives it a timeless look. What sets it apart is how the titular masks shape up gameplay. Each one gives you different powers like dashing through the air or swimming underwater, and the game constantly mixes them in clever ways. The difficulty ramps up steadily, and there's a decent chunk of optional collectibles that'll really test your skills if you want to 100% it. It's got heart, challenge, and presentation all dialed in. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 12 hours to platinum. If you're in the mood for something metal as hell, Valfaris is on sale for $4.99, and it's one of the most unapologetically hardcore 2D action games in recent years. This is a brutal, heavy metal-infused run-and-gun with a killer soundtrack, gorgeously grimy pixel art, and a relentless pace that never lets up. You're blasting through alien horrors with a bloody arsenal of weapons and melee tools, and there's a satisfying weight and impact to every encounter. It throws everything at you, enemy waves, traps, and towering bosses, and demands quick reflexes and tight execution. Plus, the whole thing looks and sounds like a fever dream album cover brought to life. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Raging Loop is a criminally underrated psychological visual novel that's just $2.99 right now. Set in a rural Japanese village steeped in dark mythology and cursed traditions, the story kicks off with a sinister twist on the game of werewolf, where each night villagers are eliminated and suspicion runs rampant. What starts as a creepy social deduction mystery quickly spirals into full-blown psychological horror, and the looping mechanic allows you to explore alternate outcomes and hidden truths by living through the same scenario in different ways. The writing is strong, the pacing is suspenseful, and it rewards attention to detail with major revelations and branching conclusions. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. At $3.74 is Agelos, a retro-inspired action RPG that blends Metroidvania elements with classic side-scrolling combat. It's got that chunky, colorful 16-bit art style with satisfying swordplay, tight platforming, and a strong sense of progression as you gain new abilities that open up previously inaccessible areas. The world design keeps things interconnected and cohesive, and even though it leans more linear than most Metroidvanias, it still encourages exploration. With no fluff or filler, every room has something useful or challenging waiting for you, and the game ramps up the difficulty just enough to feel rewarding without being punishing. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 18 hours to platinum. For under $1 at 79 cents, Devious Dungeon is an easy pickup if you're after a short and sweet platinum. It's a straightforward dungeon-crawling action platformer with procedurally generated levels, basic RPG leveling, and light loot systems. You hack, slash, and grind your way through floors of monsters while collecting gold to upgrade your gear and stats between runs. It's not deep, but it's mindlessly fun and a great game to zone out with while knocking out a quick platinum. The randomness in each run helps keep it from feeling repetitive, and there's a sort of addictive loop to the constant progression. It's sitting at a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. What the Dub is on sale for $3.59, and it's one of the most fun and underrated party games on PlayStation. The concept is simple but hilarious. You and up to 6 players provide your own dubbed lines to cheesy old movie clips, and everyone votes on which one was the funniest. It's the kind of game that thrives on player creativity, and while it's technically super simple, it's endlessly replayable depending on who you're with. It even has audience participation support, which is a huge bonus for streamers or big gatherings, and the interface is super clean and easy to use. If you've got a good group, it'll absolutely destroy game night. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. Up next is Going Under, on sale for $4.99, a roguelike dungeon crawler with a brilliant satirical twist. You're an unpaid intern battling through cursed tech startup ruins with everything from keyboards to giant pencils. Its sense of humor lands more often than not, and the gameplay is genuinely solid with a unique weapon degradation system and physics-based melee combat. Each startup dungeon has its own mechanics and enemies, so every run feels distinct. The art style is colorful and bubbly, masking some sharp commentary about modern work culture under layers of goofy chaos. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. If you're a fan of retro sci-fi shooters, Blaster Master Zero is an easy recommendation for $4.99. This is a reimagining of the NES classic, combining side-scrolling platforming with top-down shooter segments in a really slick hybrid formula. You pilot a tank named Sophia through hostile alien environments, switching between exploration and on-foot combat seamlessly. There's even some light puzzle solving and backtracking, giving it that classic Metroidvania feel. The difficulty curve is fair, the boss fights are memorable, and it's a satisfying mix of old-school design and modern fluidity. While this version doesn't have a platinum, it's still a great experience for fans of Metroidvania-style progression. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%. For $3.99, my friend Pedro brings over-the-top, slow-mo, acrobatic gunplay into a bizarre world where you're guided by a sentient banana. Yeah, it's weird, but it's also stylish as hell. This is a fast-paced action platformer with physics-based shooting, and once you get the hang of the mechanics, it turns into a glorious ballet of backflips, wall jumps, and bullet storms. It's designed to make you feel like a stunt choreographer, and the scoring system gives you extra incentive to chain together creative kills. The levels constantly change things up with new gimmicks, and the whole thing oozes chaotic energy. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Spaceland is another hidden gem at $3.99, especially for fans of tactics games. It's kind of like a light, streamlined XCOM. Turn-based strategy, small squad combat, but stripped down in a way that makes it perfect for players who want that style without the overwhelming systems. You control a squad of space rangers and take on various alien threats, using a limited number of action points per turn to move, shoot, or interact with the environment. The presentation is clean, with a colorful art style and a Saturday morning cartoon vibe, and the missions strike a great balance between tactical depth and accessibility. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Finally, the Count Lucanor is $1.74 and offers a short but memorable gothic horror adventure. This one mixes pixel art exploration, stealth, and puzzle solving in a spooky fairy tale inspired setting with unsettling characters and multiple endings. You play as a boy who stumbles into a cursed manor filled with traps, secrets, and a strange creature offering him wealth in exchange for solving a deadly riddle. The atmosphere is thick and creepy, blending eerie silence with bursts of tension as you try to avoid enemies or figure out what the heck is going on. Despite the old-school visuals, it manages to deliver a genuinely unsettling experience. It's sitting at a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. Final Fantasy VII is just $6.39 right now, and if you've somehow never played this all-time classic, it's absolutely worth it. The original version still holds up, and the materia system gives it a level of customization most RPGs still don't match. You'll be getting the same iconic story, music, and characters that redefined the genre back in 1997, and even if the graphics are dated, the turn-based combat is still super satisfying. This version also includes speed up and no encounter cheats, so you can modernize the experience a little without breaking it. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 40 hours to platinum. Journey is $7.49, and even though it's short, it's still one of the most emotional and unique games ever made. It's a wordless, exploration-focused adventure through a vast desert where the music, visuals, and fluid movement all work together to create a vibe that just hits different. You can run into random players on the same journey, and even without talking, there's this surprising sense of connection as you help each other out. The seamless multiplayer and art direction make this feel timeless, and it's still one of the most recommended indies for a reason. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and it takes about 5 hours to finish, no platinum for this one. Slay the Spire is $8.49, and if you like roguelikes or deck-building games, this is the gold standard. You build your deck as you ascend the spire, facing tougher enemies and crazy random events that constantly make you rethink your strategy. The game's 4 characters all play completely differently, and once you've learned the ropes, you'll be tweaking every decision to perfection. It's endlessly replayable, has incredible synergy potential, and if you're trophy hunting, this one will absolutely test your patience. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and it'll take you around 100 hours to platinum. Dreams is down to $7.99, and even though Media Molecule isn't updating it anymore, the community creations are still worth diving into. It's basically a game engine where you can create and share full games, music, animations, or just mess around and play what others have made. Some of the stuff people have built is genuinely impressive, and there's a curated set of dreams that the devs have highlighted if you don't know where to start. It's not really a traditional game, but if you've got a creative side or just like exploring weird projects, there's nothing else quite like it. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 75 hours of platinum. Max Payne is $8.99, and if you missed this one back in the day, now's a perfect time to go back and see where bullet time really took off. It's a gritty noir third-person shooter with some iconic slow-mo action, and the voiceover narration gives it this really distinct, pulpy tone. The gunplay still feels tight, the story has that old-school edginess, and even though it's a product of its time, it holds up surprisingly well. It's short and replayable, and the soundtrack hits hard with its bleak mood. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and around 25 hours of platinum. Kill Knight is $7.49, and this one's a fast-paced, twin-stick shooter with an aggressive, stylish aesthetic. You're basically a cybernetic monster slashing through hordes of enemies in tight arenas, and the movement alone makes it feel awesome. The game has a super high skill ceiling, and if you're chasing high scores or leaderboard placements, it'll hook you fast. Every run is about execution and speed, so if you're into challenging arcade-style gameplay, it's an easy pick. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 35 hours to platinum. Doom Eternal is just $9.99, and it's still one of the best feeling shooters out there if you're into fast, aggressive gameplay. The combat is basically a dance of ripping, tearing, and resource management, and every enemy type demands a specific strategy. You'll be constantly switching weapons and tools while staying mobile, and the arenas are designed to keep you moving at all times. The story has surprisingly solid moments that add depth to the action, but the gameplay is absolutely the main event here. It's an intense challenge that rewards skill and quick thinking, and the level design keeps you on your toes throughout. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 30 hours to platinum. XCOM 2 Digital Deluxe Edition is only $7.49 and includes the base game plus the War of the Chosen expansion, which adds a ton of new mechanics and enemies. This is one of the best tactical strategy games on console, with permadeath, RNG, and base building creating a constant sense of tension. You'll need to balance short-term missions with long-term upgrades, and every battle feels like it could tip in either direction. It's brutal, smart, and deeply satisfying when your strategies pay off. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and a solid 100 hours to platinum. Fallout 4 is just $7.99, and even though it's not everyone's favorite in the series, it's still a massive open-world RPG with a ton of content. The gunplay feels way better than in Fallout 3, and the settlement building adds a ton of creativity if you're into that. The story's decent, but the real strength is in exploring the Commonwealth, finding weird side quests, and customizing your gear. It's got that Bethesda jank, sure, but also that sense of freedom and discovery that still hits. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 50 hours to platinum. Little Noah, Scion of Paradise is just $5.99, and if you're into roguelites, this one's a charming surprise that didn't get much attention. You'll build up a team of little elemental creatures called Lilliputs and string together combos as you fight your way through randomized dungeons. It's got a colorful art style, smooth combat, and a decent amount of progression as you unlock new abilities. It's approachable for newcomers, but still deep enough to keep you experimenting with builds. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Katamari Damacy Reroll is $7.49, and it's just pure joy in game form. You roll a ball that collects everything in its path, starting with paper clips and ending with skyscrapers. The music is iconic, the gameplay is weirdly relaxing, and it's the kind of game that's hard to explain but easy to love. It's a faithful remaster of the PS2 classic, and if you want something lighthearted and different, this is a must-play. There's a goofy charm to everything, and it's still one of the most unique games out there. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is just $5.99, and if you like old-school shooters with modern flair, this one's an intense ride. The shooting is fast and violent, the story goes places, and the performances, especially from the villains, are genuinely great. You're dual-wielding shotguns and blowing through Nazi strongholds with style, but there's also surprisingly emotional character work throughout. It's hard, it's loud, and it doesn't pull any punches with its themes. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is the gold standard for open-world RPGs, and this Complete Edition gives you the base game along with the 2 massive expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, both of which could honestly be standalone games in their own right. You'll step into the boots of Geralt of Rivia and explore a massive fantasy world full of meaningful side quests, branching narratives, monster hunts, and morally complex choices that actually matter. From the brutal swamps of Velen to the vibrant vineyards of Toussaint, every area feels handcrafted and teeming with life, and on PS5 you're getting updated visuals, performance boosts, and tons of quality of life improvements. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 110 hours to platinum. Bully is a cult classic from Rockstar that trades guns and gang wars for slingshots and schoolyard brawls, offering an open-world experience set in the halls and dorms of Bulworth Academy. You play as Jimmy Hopkins, a troubled teen sent to a corrupt boarding school, and over the course of the game you'll navigate cliques, attend weird minigames disguised as classes, pull pranks, ride bikes, and slowly take over the school's social hierarchy. It's got that signature Rockstar mix of satire, chaos, and heart, with a ton of variety in its missions and a surprisingly strong narrative for its setting. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Flower is a beautifully minimalist and emotional experience that offers something totally different from most games. You're essentially the wind, guiding a single petal that grows into a vibrant stream of color as you pass through desaturated landscapes. Each level has a unique visual theme and subtly evolves in tone as you interact with the world, going from serene and meditative to dark and poignant. There's no dialogue, combat, or failure states, just simple controls, stunning visuals, and a memorable soundtrack that builds as you progress. It's ideal for a short, peaceful session when you want something more introspective. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 6 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Bang On Balls Chronicles is a goofy physics-based platformer that leans hard into its chaos and humor, letting you play as a customizable ball rolling through huge open-ended maps inspired by historical settings like Viking villages and pirate forts. There's combat, puzzles, collectibles, and co-op support, and it's all wrapped in a polished engine that makes the slapstick action really satisfying. The game doesn't take itself seriously, but there's a surprising amount of depth in how you can approach challenges, and the world design invites exploration and experimentation. If you're looking for something offbeat and surprisingly well made, this one's worth a spin. See what I did there? It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. Pentiment is a slow-burn narrative RPG from Obsidian that drops you into a hand-illustrated world inspired by medieval manuscripts and woodcuts, where you play as an artist caught in a web of murder, scandal, and shifting alliances over a period of decades. What makes it special is how deeply it commits to its historical setting. Every dialogue choice, character interaction, and piece of lore feels grounded in the beliefs, conflicts, and customs of the 16th century. The game evolves based on your choices and social standing, and while there's no combat, the tension comes from navigating relationships and trying to do the right thing in a world where justice is rarely fair. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch Remastered is a touching and visually stunning JRPG that blends the charm of a Ghibli movie with classic turn-based mechanics and creature collecting. You play as Oliver, a young boy who travels to a magical world to save his mother, encountering whimsical characters and battling evil forces along the way. The remastered version cleans up the visuals and runs beautifully on modern hardware, and the gameplay loop of capturing and evolving familiars adds depth and replay value. The game's world is massive, its soundtrack is incredible, and the story hits hard with themes of grief and healing. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling is a love letter to the classic Paper Mario formula, complete with charming 2D visuals, turn-based battles that reward timing, and a heartfelt story starring 3 bug heroes. You'll explore varied environments like deserts, swamps, and ancient ruins, solving puzzles and taking on strategic battles that require you to carefully manage your party's unique abilities. The writing is clever and full of personality, and there's a ton of optional content to uncover for those who want to dig deeper. It's a surprisingly deep and polished indie RPG that stands proudly alongside its inspiration. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Dead Rising is the original time-pressure zombie-slaying sandbox, dropping you into a massive shopping mall overrun with undead and giving you 72 in-game hours to rescue survivors, battle psychopaths, and piece together what caused the outbreak. You play as Frank West, a photojournalist who's covered wars and now has to fend off the horde using a unique variety of weapons, from chainsaws to cash registers. The strict time system creates real tension, forcing you to prioritize missions and accept that you can't save everyone on a single run. Despite some clunky mechanics, it's still a creative, chaotic, and satisfying game. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. The Warriors is one of Rockstar's best hidden gems, a gritty beat-em-up that expands on the cult classic movie with prequel content, full voice acting, and a brutal combat system. You'll control different members of the gang as they fight their way back to Coney Island through rival turf, with gameplay that blends brawling, stealth, and environmental destruction. It supports local co-op and has an arcade-style presentation that makes it perfect for quick sessions or full playthroughs with a buddy. Even today, it holds up with its unique style and deep respect for the source material. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Ollie Ollie World Rad Edition includes both the Finding the Flow Zone and Void Riders expansions, offering a massive amount of content and one of the most stylish and fluid skateboarding games ever made. The gameplay blends rhythm, puzzle solving, and platforming as you chain together tricks through vibrant, hand-drawn levels with increasingly complex layouts. The expansions add new mechanics, biomes, and characters, and the challenge ramps up significantly for those chasing perfect runs and high scores. Whether you're in it for the vibes or the high skill ceiling, this is one of the best skate games in years. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Griftlands is a smart, narrative-driven roguelike deck builder where every decision matters, whether you're negotiating peace, winning a bar fight, or turning enemies into allies. It features 2 separate decks for combat and diplomacy, and both systems are deep and rewarding, with tons of synergy and customization. Each run is shaped by your choices, the quests you take, and how you handle random events, leading to multiple endings and lots of replayability. The writing is excellent, the world building is rich, and it constantly forces you to think on your feet. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. Vanquish is a hyperkinetic third-person shooter from Platinum Games where you slide around on jet-powered knees, slow down time mid-dodge, and blast through waves of enemies in a non-stop bullet storm. The story is basically sci-fi nonsense, but it's just an excuse for one of the fastest, most stylish combat systems ever put in a shooter. Mastering the dodge boost system and chaining kills feels incredibly satisfying, and while it's short, it's extremely replayable, especially if you're chasing high scores or going for the hardest difficulties. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. First up, the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered and Valkyria Chronicles 4 bundle is down to just $7.99, which is a steal for 2 full tactical RPG campaigns with that signature watercolor art style. The original Valkyria Chronicles helped redefine strategy combat on consoles when it first dropped, and Valkyria Chronicles 4 builds on that formula with new characters, classes, and an emotionally charged story that digs deeper into the human cost of war. Both games offer large-scale turn-based battles with third-person shooting, customizable squad mechanics, and a genuinely compelling world to get lost in. It's an 86 on Metacritic, an average trophy difficulty of around 3 out of 10, and around 95 hours to platinum both games in the bundle. Soul Calibur 6 is currently just $9.59 and still holds up as one of the better 3D fighters on PlayStation thanks to its satisfying weapon-based combat, flexible create-a-character mode, and guest appearances like Geralt from The Witcher. With 2 full-length story campaigns and a surprisingly meaty roster that rewards both casual mashers and hardcore combo labbers, it's a solid pickup whether you're into couch versus or ranked grind. It's got great stage variety and buttery smooth mechanics, especially once you dig into the reversal edge and guard impact systems. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. The Deus Ex Mankind Divided Digital Deluxe Edition is down to just $6.74, and that includes all the Season Pass content, the Covert Agent Pack, and an extra story mission called Desperate Measures. This is a cyberpunk stealth action game with a ton of freedom in how you approach each objective, whether you want to hack your way through locked doors, sneak through air vents, or go loud with customizable weapons. It might not have hit quite the same narrative highs as Human Revolution, but the moment-to-moment gameplay is extremely tight, and Prague remains one of the coolest hub worlds of that generation. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. Valfaris Mechatherion is a wild, heavy metal-infused shoot-'em-up that's going for just $5.99 right now, and it brings a slick blend of side-scrolling action and bullet hell chaos, all set to a brutal soundtrack that totally fits the vibe. This spin-off of the original Valfaris takes the over-the-top action into full mech shooter territory, where you pilot a massive death machine through space while blasting anything that moves. The visuals are gritty and detailed, the gameplay is snappy and responsive, and the weapon variety is surprisingly deep for a game of this scale. It's not particularly long, but the high-octane energy and sheer style of it make it a memorable ride for fans of fast-paced indie action. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. 2 Point Campus is marked down to $5.99, and it's one of the most charming and creative management sims out there, letting you build and run a quirky university filled with students studying everything from wizardry to espionage. If you played 2 Point Hospital, you'll know the tone is goofy, but the gameplay can get deep, and you'll be juggling course development, staff management, student needs, and campus layout, all while trying to meet academic goals. The visual style is colorful and lighthearted, but under the hood is a genuinely well-tuned sim that rewards strategic thinking and efficient design. There's also a sandbox mode if you want to just experiment without any restrictions. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Killer Frequency is on sale for $7.49, and this one's a stylish narrative thriller with a clever radio DJ mechanic that makes it stand out. Set in the late 80s, you play as a radio host in a small town, taking calls from citizens being hunted by a serial killer. And you have to help them survive using only what you know from their call and what's available in your studio. It's a smart twist on the horror genre, mixing puzzle solving and quick decision making with a surprisingly fleshed out world and a great retro vibe. The voice acting is strong, the writing is sharp, and there's just enough tension to keep you on edge without ever turning into full-on horror. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. Chicken Police Paint It Red is going for $6.99, and this one's a noir-style visual novel with some of the most bizarre yet striking character designs in the genre. Think gritty detective thriller, but everyone's anthropomorphic animals. You play as Sonny Featherland, a hard-boiled rooster detective coming out of retirement for one last case, and the game absolutely nails the noir tone with sharp dialogue, moody jazz, and a fully voiced story that goes deeper than you'd expect. The blend of FMV-like graphics and surreal animal characters works better than it has any right to, and the point-and-click investigation mechanics are solid too. If you want a short but memorable story-driven experience, this is a great pick. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 7 hours to platinum. Little Nightmares 2 is just $5.99 right now, and this horror platformer is a masterclass in atmosphere, telling a dark, wordless story through eerie environments and creepy character design. You play as Mono, a young boy navigating a surreal world alongside the girl from the first game, and the pair are constantly stalked by grotesque, twisted figures that turn every level into a tense, unsettling experience. The puzzles are simple but effective, and the visual storytelling is some of the best you'll find in any modern horror game. It's not overly long, but it packs a punch with some standout sequences and a haunting finale that sticks with you. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. Chivalry 2 is on sale for $7.99, and this is one of the most fun multiplayer brawlers around, offering massive medieval battles with swords, spears, bows, and just about anything else you can swing or throw. It's chaotic in the best way, letting you dive into 64-player skirmishes where you'll clash on castle walls, storm fortresses, and duel in muddy fields, all with a ridiculous amount of slapstick carnage. The combat is skill-based but easy to pick up, and the game encourages both serious tactics and total chaos. It also supports crossplay and has a pretty active player base, so it's easy to get into even now. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 is $5.99, and if you're into retro action games, this is a must-play. Developed by Inti Creates, it's a follow-up to the 8-bit inspired spin-off of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and it brings that same crisp pixel art, tight platforming, and multiple playable characters with different abilities. The level design is sharp, the boss fights are challenging but fair, and there's even some solid replay value thanks to branching paths and different endings. It feels like a love letter to classic Castlevania games, but with a modern polish and smoother controls. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. Borderlands Legendary Collection is down to $9.99, and this bundle packs an insane amount of content with full versions of Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, all with their DLCs. If you're into looter shooters, this is one of the best value bundles you can grab, with hundreds of guns, massive open levels, and a ton of co-op content you can play solo or with friends. The humor might not be for everyone, but the gameplay loop of shooting, looting, and upgrading is still rock solid and holds up surprisingly well today. It's an 83 average on Metacritic, average trophy difficulty of around 4 out of 10, and about 160 hours to platinum all 3 games in the bundle. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is going for $5.99, and it's a fantastic 2.5D platformer that blends Donkey Kong Country-style level design with a surprisingly clever overworld puzzle system. The controls are tight, the visuals are vibrant, and the soundtrack, composed by industry legends like David Wise and Grant Kirkhope, is top tier. Each level has alternate versions you can unlock by changing environmental elements in the overworld, giving the game a lot more depth than it initially lets on. The titular Impossible Lair is a brutal final gauntlet you can technically attempt at any time, but building your power by saving bee allies throughout the game makes it much more manageable. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours of platinum. Undertale is down to just $9.89, and if you've never played this modern classic, now's the perfect time to finally see what all the fuss is about. It's a quirky, emotional, and frequently hilarious RPG where your choices genuinely matter, not just in terms of dialogue, but in how you interact with every single monster. You can fight, sure, but you can also show mercy, negotiate, or completely avoid violence, which makes for a deeply personal experience. The The combat system is simple but creative, blending turn-based action with bullet hell dodging, and the story hits way harder than it has any right to, especially if you go in blind. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and around 5 hours to platinum. The Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut is down to $5.99, and this is a deep, old-school style dungeon crawler with a modern twist that really rewards patience and exploration. It's got some of that classic first-person grid-based movement, but the combat system uses turn-based strategy that requires thoughtful precisioning and ability usage. The story leans heavily into Celtic myth with a dose of humor and plenty of voice dialogue, and the world design really shines when you're figuring out the puzzles and secret paths in the dungeons. The Director's Cut adds loads of improvements over the original launch, including performance fixes, UI tweaks, and more story content. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. Street Fighter V Champion Edition is $9.99, and even though it had a rough launch, this version is basically the complete package and one of the best fighting game deals you can get right now. It includes every character up through Season 4, all their costumes and stages, and a huge variety of game modes including arcade, versus, training, and an improved online experience. The mechanics are polished and fast-paced, with a focus on learning your character's V-triggers and frame data, so it has a high skill ceiling if you're looking for a long-term game to master. Trophy-wise, this is one of the tougher ones. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and around 150 hours to platinum. Lethal League Blaze is just $7.99, and an absolute sleeper hit if you're into fast-paced, competitive action games with a unique vibe. It's like a mix of Smash Brothers and Pong, where you smack a ball back and forth with increasing speed and try to knock out your opponent. The soundtrack absolutely slaps, it's got this funky, futuristic street style, and the gameplay is easy to pick up but deceptively deep, especially in multiplayer. Whether you're playing locally or online, it's got the kind of chaotic energy that never gets old. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 40 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider is on sale for $5.99 and is a standalone expansion to Dishonored 2 that lets you step into the shoes of Billy Lurk, an assassin trying to bring down the mysterious outsider. It's a tighter, more focused game than the main entries, but still gives you the freedom to play stealthily or go full chaos. The supernatural powers feel fantastic, especially things like Semblance and Displace that let you manipulate the environment and enemies in creative ways. There's also a contract system that adds extra objectives to each mission for more replay value. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. Tekken 7 is just $9.99 and a must-have for fighting game fans, especially if you enjoy deep combat mechanics and a massive roster. This entry introduced rage arts and power crush moves, which make comebacks more intense and fights more dynamic. The story mode is surprisingly cinematic, following the conclusion of the long-running Mishima family saga, but it's the robust online and practice modes that'll keep you coming back. It's one of the more beginner-friendly Tekkens in terms of accessibility, but it still has a high skill ceiling for competitive play. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. The Last Guardian is down to $9.99, and if you're in the mood for a slower, more emotional journey, this one is a must-play. It follows a young boy and a massive griffin-like creature named Trico as they try to escape ancient ruins together. The gameplay revolves around solving environmental puzzles by commanding Trico and figuring out how to use his abilities to overcome obstacles, and the bond between the characters is the real star of the show. It's got that Team Ico vibe, a little janky at times, but beautiful and heartfelt. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 25 hours to platinum. Watch Dogs 2 Deluxe Edition is just $8.99 and one of the most fun open-world sandboxes Ubisoft has ever put out. You play as Marcus Holloway, a hacker in San Francisco taking on corrupt corporations and law enforcement through creative and often hilarious means. This edition includes extra customization packs and missions, and the game itself has a really refreshing tone compared to the first Watch Dogs. More colorful, more satirical, and way more fun to just mess around in. Whether you're using drones, RC cars, or full-blown system hacks, there's tons of variety in how you approach each mission. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Ultros is $9.99 and one of the most visually striking Metroidvanias you'll ever see. The art style is psychedelic and surreal, almost like a trippy graphic novel in motion. You wake up on a mysterious alien ship and have to fight, explore, and farm your way through looping timelines and branching environments. The combat has a satisfying rhythm to it, with emphasis on dodging and quick attacks, and the game ties your upgrades to a gardening system that's surprisingly deep. There's a big focus on narrative themes of life and rebirth, and it all comes together in a really cohesive package. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 30 hours to platinum. Kingdom 80s is down to just $5.99 and is a really clever spin on the Kingdom formula, wrapping its tower defense and resource management gameplay in a nostalgic 1980s summer camp setting. You'll be building up your base, recruiting allies, and defending against waves of greed monsters, all while exploring neon-lit environments and vibing to a synth-heavy soundtrack. It's accessible and chill, but also has enough strategy to keep you engaged across multiple runs. This is a great pickup if you're into pixel art and love short games with strong style. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. We Love Katamari Reroll and Royal Reverie Special Edition is $9.99 and includes the remastered version of the cult classic sequel along with the Royal Reverie bonus content. It's still the same wonderfully weird and addictive gameplay loop. Roll up everything in sight to grow your Katamari ball until it's large enough to become a star. The visuals are sharper, the controls are smoother, and the extra content adds a few new challenges that tie into the King of All Cosmos' childhood. Whether you're a longtime fan or jumping in for the first time, this is one of the most joyfully strange games out there. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. The Pedestrian is just $5.99 and one of the most creative puzzle platformers you can get on PlayStation, even though it doesn't have a platinum trophy. You play as a stick figure, navigating through interconnected signs, monitors, and billboards, rearranging them to create pathways and solve visual logic puzzles. The game doesn't have a single line of text or dialogue, but it tells a surprisingly thoughtful story through its environments and transitions. The puzzles ramp up in complexity in really satisfying ways, and the clean, minimal art direction keeps the focus on solving rather than spectacle. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 2 hours to 100%. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is $6.99 and invites you to step into the robes of a young Jedi Padawan under the guidance of Luke Skywalker himself, blending first and third-person combat with a high degree of player choice that lets you forge your lightsaber, select your missions, and decide whether to follow the light or give in to the dark side. The levels vary from tightly designed duels to sprawling battles across iconic Star Wars locations, and the mix of force powers, blaster fire, and saber combat makes each encounter feel dynamic and unique. While the multiplayer mode remains a cult favorite, offering chaotic lightsaber duels and force-powered skirmishes, the active fanbase keeps online communities alive years after release, adding lasting replay value. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX is $7.49 and delivers a fast-paced 2D action experience from the minds behind the Azure Striker Gunvolt series, where you play as Copen, a high-mobility hero armed with a gun, sword, and the ability to dash tag enemies for high-speed takedowns that reward fluid movement and skillful chaining of kills without touching the ground. The tight stage layouts, stylish boss fights, and vibrant anime-inspired aesthetic combine to make this a standout for fans of action platformers, and although it lacks a platinum trophy, the real challenge comes from perfecting your runs for high scores and time attacks. Adding even more depth, the game introduces new story elements that enrich the lore behind the Gunvolt universe, which longtime fans will appreciate. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 9 hours to 100%. Catherine Full Body Digital Deluxe Edition is $9.99 and takes the cult classic puzzle platformer to the next level by expanding storylines, introducing new characters, and adding over 500 additional puzzles, all while following protagonist Vincent as he navigates surreal nightmares filled with massive block towers during the night and juggles a tangled love life by day. The Digital Deluxe Edition includes extra music tracks, customization items, and artwork that deepen the game's already rich presentation, and the blend of intense puzzle gameplay, mature storytelling, and psychological tension makes it a truly unforgettable experience. For players seeking more, New Game Plus and Hard Mode options significantly increase replay value, while the jazzy, moody soundtrack perfectly complements the surreal, emotional vibe. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. Age of Wonders Planetfall Deluxe Edition is $7.99 and offers an expansive sci-fi strategy experience where you lead one of several unique factions to galactic dominance, mixing turn-based tactical combat with empire building and forcing you to balance diplomacy, technological advancement, and military might to succeed. The Deluxe Edition enhances the core experience with extra campaign missions, cosmetic packs, and a digital art book, enriching the game's depth, while every decision you make, whether negotiating peace treaties with alien diplomats or waging war against cyborg zombies, shapes your empire's fate in meaningful ways. With deep tech trees and unit customization, the tactical options remain fresh throughout, ensuring that no two playthroughs are exactly the same. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is $9.99 and brings one of the most celebrated JRPGs to modern consoles, featuring enhanced visuals, fully voiced dialogue, and additional content that was never before released in the West, all while following former knight Yuri Lowell and a colorful party of allies on an epic quest filled with political intrigue, friendship, and fantastical adventure. The real-time combat system lets you control any party member in fluid battles and link arts for devastating combos, and the world is further expanded by side quests, minigames, and optional bosses that add significant playtime beyond the main story. The new characters and storylines introduced in the Definitive Edition adds a fresh layer of depth to the narrative, giving both longtime fans and newcomers plenty to enjoy. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 175 hours to platinum. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is $9.89 and offers a treasure trove for fighting game fans, compiling 12 arcade-perfect versions of Street Fighter, Street Fighter II, Alpha, and 3, complete with online play for select titles, training modes, and a museum full of concept art and series history. Every punch, kick, and fireball is recreated with precision, preserving the original arcade feel while adding modern conveniences that make the games accessible to new players without sacrificing the competitive edge. Beyond the gameplay, the museum content is a thoughtful addition that invites fans to dive deeper into the evolution of one of the genre's most iconic franchises, while the wide range of characters and playstyles ensures the collection remains fresh and engaging. Although there's no platinum trophy, this collection is an essential for anyone looking to revisit classics or study fighting game history. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%. Steins Gate Zero at $8.74 takes the already mind-bending time travel narrative of the original and twists it into something even darker, placing you in an alternate world line where tragedy has already struck, and characters struggle to live with the consequences as you guide protagonist Rentaro Okabe through branching storylines filled with high-stakes decisions, unexpected alliances, and gut-wrenching emotional moments. Told through some of the best visual novel writing around, the multiple endings encourage replayability, and the returning cast blends fan service with fresh material to satisfy series veterans. If you're into deep sci-fi that still finds room for humor and romance, this game is well worth the time investment. Its excellent localization and immersive soundtrack only enhance the suspenseful and heartfelt narrative. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Trackmania Turbo at $7.99 is pure arcade-style racing adrenaline, featuring over 200 tracks designed to test your reflexes, creativity, and patience, often all at once, while the real hook lies in chasing perfect lap times that can feel downright addictive as you shave off milliseconds through slick cornering and well-timed boosts. The game offers 4 distinct environments, each with unique handling quirks that keep you on your toes and provide a bright, high-energy presentation that's easy to jump into but tough to master. Split-screen and online multiplayer modes remain hugely enjoyable, and the track editor ensures there's always a fresh challenge waiting just around the corner. Whether you're a casual racer or speedrunning enthusiast, Trackmania delivers a rewarding experience backed by a rhythmic soundtrack and smooth controls that really amplify the thrill of each race. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. Nidhogg at $5.99 is deceptively simple but endlessly entertaining, pitching you into frantic fencing duels where the goal isn't just to win, but to push forward and take over your opponent's side of the stage, with pixel art and minimalist design hiding a surprisingly deep system where timing, feints, and mind games count as much as quick reflexes. Matches swing wildly back and forth, creating tension and laughter whether you're battling the AI or a friend sitting beside you, and its chaotic but competitive nature has earned it a cult following in the indie scene. The easy-to-learn controls make it accessible, but mastering the flow requires real skill, which only adds to its addictive charm. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Tomb Raider Legend at $9.99 marked Lara Croft's return to form by blending classic exploration and puzzle solving with modernized controls and a cinematic presentation, sending you on a globe-trotting campaign where you'll explore ancient ruins, scale treacherous cliffs, and uncover hidden relics tied to a personal mystery in Lara's past. The platforming feels fluid, combat is straightforward but satisfying, and environmental puzzles are just tricky enough to make you feel clever without stalling the pace, creating a leaner, more focused experience than the later reboots. If you missed it back in the PS2 era, this is an ideal way to see how the series reinvented itself before the latest incarnation took over. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. The Entropy Center at $6.24 is a first-person puzzle game that, while drawing obvious comparisons to Portal, sets itself apart by letting you rewind objects through time rather than creating portals, leading to mind-bending challenges where you have to consider not only where an object is, but where it was moments ago to solve environmental puzzles. The story adds real weight as you navigate a crumbling facility with an AI companion whose witty remarks keep the tone lively and engaging throughout, while the game's pacing and atmospheric design make it one of the most underrated puzzle games in recent years. The satisfaction of figuring out complex solutions and seeing them play out in reverse creates a unique and rewarding experience that challenges your perception in clever ways. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. One Shot World Machine Edition at $8.99 is a top-down puzzle adventure that plays cleverly with the boundary between the game and the player, frequently breaking the fourth wall in surprising and meaningful ways as you guide Nico, a small, cat-like protagonist, through a melancholy but hopeful world in an attempt to restore its dying son. Along the way, you'll solve puzzles that often require thinking outside the game window itself, while heartfelt writing, vivid characters, and a perfect soundtrack deepen the emotional journey. The console-specific additions in this edition elevate it beyond a straight port, giving newcomers and returning players alike new reasons to dive in, and the unique meta-narrative makes it a standout example of indie storytelling at its finest. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. Middle-earth, the Shadow Bundle, is $6.99 and includes Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, along with their DLC, delivering two epic open-world adventures set in Tolkien's universe. The games combine stealth, parkour, and brutal combat while featuring the acclaimed Nemesis system that personalizes enemy encounters, which keeps each playthrough fresh and intense. You'll explore vast, detailed environments filled with side quests, collectibles, and compelling stories about power and corruption, and the combat scales beautifully as you level up and unlock new abilities. Both titles offer robust challenges for completionists and casual players alike, blending narrative depth with fast-paced action. Whether you're hunting powerful warlords or reclaiming your honor, these games perfectly capture the spirit of Middle-earth and provide hours of engaging gameplay. It's an 82 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 3 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum both games. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is $8.99 and puts you in control of Star-Lord and his ragtag crew as you battle cosmic threats with humor and heart. The action-packed third-person combat lets you switch between characters and abilities seamlessly, which keeps battles dynamic and engaging while the story delivers memorable dialogue and character-driven moments that feel true to the source material. Exploration and decision-making add extra layers as you influence team morale and story outcomes while enjoying a stellar soundtrack that perfectly captures the Guardians vibe. The game balances fun with emotional beats, and its well-written script and voice acting bring these lovable misfits to life in a way that fans will appreciate deeply. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Scarlet Nexus is $8.99 and throws you into a futuristic sci-fi world where psychic powers meet fast-paced combat against grotesque mutants. The dual protagonist storylines intertwine through a complex narrative that explores themes of memory, identity, and humanity, while combat combines melee attacks with powerful psionic abilities for a fluid and satisfying experience. Strategic use of brain links lets you control and combine skills with your teammates, which adds depth to battles and encourages tactical thinking in hectic encounters. Its colorful anime art style and energetic soundtrack complete the immersive atmosphere, and the layered storytelling invites multiple playthroughs to fully understand the plot's twists and connections. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. Ultimate Chicken Horse is $6.74 and is a hilarious multiplayer platformer where players build a level as they compete to reach the goal, balancing cooperation and sabotage in a chaotic party setting. The game shines with its clever level editor and variety of quirky traps and obstacles, which keeps each match fresh and full of surprising twists as everyone tries to outsmart each other. Its casual but competitive nature makes it perfect for gatherings, and the simple controls combined with emergent gameplay create endless fun for friends or online opponents. The balance of creativity and competition means every round feels unique, and the game encourages laughter and friendly rivalry in equal measure. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Nidhogg 2 is $5.99 and offers frantic, pixel art fencing duels where the goal is to push your opponent off the stage while engaging in a tug-of-war with fast-paced, skill-based combat. The game retains the addictive simplicity of the original but adds new weapons, stages, and more detailed visuals, which help freshen the experience without sacrificing its core intensity. Matches are quick and chaotic, encouraging aggressive play and quick reflexes, but there's also a surprising amount of depth in timing and strategy that keeps competitive players coming back. The lively soundtrack and quirky art style add personality, making each duel feel vibrant and tense. It's an 80 on Metacritic, and unfortunately, one trophy is broken, preventing a full 100% completion. Lego City Undercover is $5.09 and brings open-world Lego fun to life with humor, exploration, and an engaging police story that's suitable for all ages. The game combines classic Lego building and puzzle solving with driving, stealth, and combat mechanics that create a diverse gameplay loop while encouraging exploration through its colorful city environment. With tons of collectibles, side missions, and unlockable costumes, it offers plenty of replay value and charm, and the witty dialogue keeps things lighthearted and entertaining throughout. The open world is filled with Easter eggs and playful references that rewards players who enjoy discovery, making it perfect for families or anyone looking for a lighthearted adventure. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is $7.49 and serves up fast-paced 3-on-3 tag team fighting action with a massive roster of beloved characters from both franchises. The game excels with fluid combos, deep mechanics, and visually spectacular moves, which make it one of the best entries in the series and a favorite among fighting game fans worldwide. Training modes, online play, and tournaments keep the competitive scene lively, while the sheer variety of characters ensures there's a fighter for every playstyle. Mastery demands skill and timing, and the high trophy difficulty reflects its competitive nature. With its polished gameplay and dedicated fanbase, it remains a must-play for any fighting game enthusiast. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. Mecha Zoo is $9.99 and offers a quirky, side-scrolling platformer experience filled with bizarre levels and unique mechanics that challenge your reflexes and creativity. The game's vivid, hand-drawn art style and bizarre sense of humor make each stage a colorful and unpredictable adventure, while tight controls and inventive puzzles ensure the gameplay stays fresh and engaging throughout. Boss battles and hidden secrets reward careful exploration, and the soundtrack perfectly complements the game's offbeat tone. Despite its indie status, Mechazoo delivers a polished, fun experience that surprises with its creativity and charm. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Gravity Rush 2 is $9.99 and invites you to defy gravity as Cat, navigating a sprawling cityscape with dynamic physics-based movement and gravity-shifting powers. The game balances intense combat with exploration and puzzle solving, offering an immersive world full of side quests, collectibles, and an emotionally rich story that builds on the original's unique premise. The gravity mechanics create unique gameplay opportunities that keep traversal and fights feeling fresh and innovative, while the vibrant art style and music add depth to the experience. The open world encourages players to experiment with movement, making every corner of the map feel lively and worth discovering. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Need for Speed Rivals Complete Edition is $5.99 and blends high-speed racing and police chases in an open-world environment where skill and strategy both come into play. The Complete Edition includes all DLCs, which add cars, tracks, and events, offering a comprehensive racing experience with varied challenges and multiplayer modes. Its dynamic weather and day-night cycles add visual variety and affect gameplay, and the social speed lists feature allows you to compete with friends and online players. Whether you prefer to outrun the cops or dominate the races, this game delivers adrenaline-fueled fun with plenty of content to keep you engaged. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Among Ashes is $8.24 and offers a dark, atmospheric RPG adventure where survival and decision-making are key as you navigate a bleak world with mysterious powers. The game combines exploration, combat, and puzzle solving in a non-linear narrative that invites multiple playthroughs, and its moody visuals and haunting soundtrack create a strong sense of immersion. With a variety of character builds and upgrade paths, players can tailor their approach to combat and stealth, while the story encourages thoughtful choices that affect outcomes. Despite its short length, it leaves a lasting impression through its depth and tone, delivering a surprisingly rich experience for the price. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 8 hours to platinum. Clem is $7.99 and presents a heartfelt, story-driven game focused on emotional exploration, where players interact with characters and environments to unravel memories and relationships. The gameplay blends visual novel elements with light puzzles, and its narrative-driven approach allows for multiple endings based on player decisions, creating a personal experience. The art style and soundtrack complement the introspective tone, while well-crafted dialogue delivers emotional depth. It's a touching, intimate game that rewards patience and curiosity, inviting players to connect deeply with the story. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 4 hours to platinum. Grand Theft Auto V is down to $19.79, and while it might be over a decade old at this point, Rockstar has continued to support the game with a constant stream of content and quality of life improvements, especially for the online mode. The single-player campaign still holds up as one of the best open-world stories out there, full of memorable missions, unpredictable characters, and a level of polish that few games have matched since. Between the story, side content, and all the time you can dump into GTA Online, there's hundreds of hours of potential gameplay here. It's a game you can always come back to when you're in the mood for chaos, and it's still getting consistent updates today. I did cover this in the first wave of deals, but this is the cross-buy version. It's the same price, so if you didn't buy it on the first go-around, you've got a second chance. It's a 97 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 150 hours to platinum. Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition is just $19.99, and this is easily one of the most cinematic and emotionally resonant games of the last generation, with its massive world, jaw-dropping visuals, and incredible character work. You get the full base game, plus bonus story mode content and online perks, which makes this version of the game an amazing deal if you're jumping in for the first time or looking to revisit it. It's slower paced than GTA, but that works to its benefit. It's a game that asks you to soak in the details and lose yourself in the world. The amount of side content is staggering, and just traveling from one place to another can lead to some of the best unscripted moments in gaming. It's a 97 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and around 200 hours to platinum. Final Fantasy VI is down to $11.69, and this is the newly released Pixel Remaster version that brings one of the greatest JRPGs of all time to modern consoles with upgraded visuals and sound. This version also includes quality of life features like faster battles and adjustable XP gain, which makes it easier to enjoy without compromising the original experience. The game has a massive ensemble cast, an unforgettable villain, and some genuinely shocking moments that hold up even today. It's a great way to see where a lot of Final Fantasy's best ideas came from, and the updated look really makes the pixel art pop on modern displays. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 40 hours to platinum. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is on sale for $15.99, and this remake collection is pure nostalgia fuel, bringing the legendary skating games into the modern era with tight controls, updated graphics, and the classic soundtrack intact. It's not just a graphical update though, the game feels modern and smooth while still preserving the trick systems and level layouts that made the originals so addictive. Whether you're chasing high scores or trying to nail a perfect line, there's a ton of challenge and replay value here. The inclusion of online leaderboards and a surprisingly decent custom park builder adds a lot of longevity too. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and around 70 hours to platinum. Crusader Kings 3 is $19.99, and this is a deeply complex strategy game where you manage not just armies and empires, but entire dynasties with marriages, betrayals, and backstabbing all part of the fun. It's the kind of game where no two campaigns are ever alike, and it's just as much about role-playing your way through history as it is about pure tactics. The console version is surprisingly smooth for a game that originated on PC, and once you get a handle on the UI, it becomes incredibly addictive. It's not for everyone, but if you're into strategy or medieval politics, this is about as deep as it gets. It's a 91 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and around 200 hours to platinum. Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is $11.99, and this is a dialogue-heavy RPG that plays more like a surreal detective novel than a traditional game, with a story that changes dramatically based on your choices. The writing is some of the best in gaming, philosophical, funny, dark, and completely unpredictable, and the voice acting in this version brings it all to life in a major way. There's no combat in the traditional sense, but the depth of the skill system and the way your internal thoughts influence the narrative is something truly special. It's unlike anything else on the market and worth experiencing for the story alone. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 60 hours to platinum. Deathloop Deluxe Edition is just $15.99, and this version includes bonus weapons and character skins on top of the base game, which is a stylish first-person shooter with a time loop twist. You're trying to assassinate 8 targets across one repeating day, but the brilliance comes in learning the patterns, unlocking shortcuts, and turning each loop into an increasingly efficient murder puzzle. The combat is fast and flashy, and the art direction and soundtrack give it a really distinct vibe. It's one of those games that rewards creative problem solving and experimentation, and figuring out how everything connects is incredibly satisfying. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 20 hours to platinum. Doom Eternal Deluxe Edition is down to $17.49, and this includes both parts of the Ancient Gods DLC, making it a complete package that delivers some of the most aggressive and satisfying first-person combat in the genre. The game pushes you to constantly be on the move, swapping weapons and using every tool at your disposal to survive, creating this wild rhythm that feels closer to a high-speed puzzle than a standard shooter. The DLC is no joke either. It's brutally difficult and adds some great boss fights and level designs to an already stacked campaign. If you're looking for a pure adrenaline rush and don't mind a challenge, this is the one. I did cover Doom Eternal in yesterday's video, but I figured since this is both more expensive and includes more content that I'd add this in as well. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 30 hours to platinum. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection is $19.79, and this version includes the base game, the Reaper of Souls expansion, and the Necromancer pack, giving you access to all classes and content in one bundle. It's an isometric action RPG that's all about loot, builds, and tearing through waves of enemies in increasingly tougher dungeons. The console version is super polished and works great with a controller, making it one of the easiest ways to jump into the genre. It's great in solo play, but it's even better in co-op, whether online or local. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 60 hours to platinum. 8-Bit Adventures 2 is $14.99, and it's a throwback JRPG that combines classic 8-bit visuals with modern design sensibilities, offering a surprisingly deep and emotional story alongside fast-paced, turn-based combat. It pays homage to NES-era RPGs without feeling dated, and the soundtrack is full of catchy, chiptune tracks that stick with you. There's a lot of personality packed into its pixelated characters, and the pacing makes it easy to get invested. It's a great palate cleanser between bigger games, but it still manages to leave a strong impression. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and around 35 hours to platinum. Psychonauts 2 is $11.99, and this is a platformer bursting with creativity where every level is a physical manifestation of someone's mind, from a cooking show inside a brain to a psychedelic concert full of emotional baggage. The writing is witty, the characters are lovable, and the gameplay is tight and constantly evolving. It strikes a perfect balance between humor and heartfelt storytelling, touching on serious mental health themes without losing its charm. It's easily one of the most imaginative games in the genre. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 25 hours to platinum. Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector is $18.74, and this narrative RPG is the sequel to one of the most critically acclaimed indie games in recent years, building on the original cyberpunk setting and dice roll mechanics with even more depth. You're trying to survive on the fringes of a crumbling capitalist future, forging alliances, managing time, and struggling to make ends meet, all while uncovering a mysterious larger story. The art and soundtrack create a really immersive vibe, and your decisions have long-term consequences that shape how the story unfolds. It's a slow burn, but incredibly rewarding if you like story-driven games with meaningful choices. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 15 hours to platinum. First up is Dead Cells, which is down to $12.49 and still one of the most finely tuned action platformers available. This roguelike Metroidvania hybrid combines slick, fast-paced combat with a massive variety of weapons, powers, and enemy types, all randomized across procedurally generated levels that change every run. Over the years, it's been supported with a ton of free and paid DLC, including crossovers with games like Castlevania, Hotline Miami, and Hollow Knight, which only add to its replayability. If you enjoy tight controls, fast combat, and a real sense of progression, this one's a no-brainer. It's sitting at an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Next is the Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition, on sale for $15.99, and it's easily one of the best horror games available on modern consoles. This remake of the 2008 classic elevates everything, from its zero-G combat and overhauled visuals to its re-recorded voice lines and seamless map transitions. The atmosphere is thick with tension, and the sound design is genuinely next level, keeping you on edge even during the quieter moments. The Digital Deluxe Edition adds a handful of cosmetics, but the real value is just how well the game holds up thanks to its careful modernization. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and takes about 40 hours to platinum. Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak Deluxe is down to $19.59 and is one of the most content-rich packages in the genre. Rise was already a massive step forward for accessibility and speed in Monster Hunter's formula, with new mechanics like wire bugs and customizable companions called Palamutes, but Sunbreak cranks things up even more with master rank hunts, new gear trees, and a whole new endgame progression loop. Whether you're teaming up online or tackling monsters solo, there's a mountain of content to dig into, and it remains one of the most satisfying combat systems in gaming. It's sitting at an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and takes around 250 hours to platinum. The Hazelight bundle, currently $19.79, includes It Takes Two and A Way Out, and both are must-plays if you've got a co-op partner handy. It Takes Two is a vibrant, genre-shifting journey through the emotional struggles of a couple facing divorce, with levels that constantly change up gameplay mechanics. from platforming and puzzle solving to full-on action sequences. A Way Out leans more cinematic, putting you in the shoes of two prison inmates trying to escape and survive together. Neither game can be played solo, but the couch or online co-op focus makes the experience incredibly engaging. It's an 83 average between the two games on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10 between the two, and about 20 hours to platinum both titles. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire Ultimate Edition is $14.99 and one of the most expansive CRPGs you can get on console. Set in a beautifully realized archipelago, the game builds on the first pillars in nearly every way. A richer story, deeper characters, enhanced ship-to-ship combat, and meaningful world exploration. The writing and voice acting are top-notch, with complex moral choices and consequences that ripple throughout your playthrough. The Ultimate Edition bundles in all major DLC and balances, offering hundreds of hours of tactical combat and role-playing depth for fans of games like Baldur's Gate or Divinity. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and around 80 hours to platinum. For $14.99, Odin Sphere Leifthraseer is a criminally underrated gem that blends lush, hand-drawn art with real-time 2D action RPG combat and a deep, interwoven narrative. This isn't just a port, it's a full remake of the PS2 original with improved frame rate, revamped mechanics, and a rebalanced progression system that makes it more accessible without sacrificing depth. Each of the 5 playable characters offers a unique spin on combat and storytelling, and the Norse myth-inspired world is rich with lore and melancholic beauty. Between the visual style and satisfying gameplay loop, this is a must-play for fans of Vanillaware or action RPGs. It's sitting at an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Monster Train, now just $13.74, is a highly replayable deck builder with a fiery twist, literally. Your goal is to protect the last burning pyre of hell aboard a massive train barreling through frozen wastelands, while enemies board in waves across 3 vertical battlefields. You'll draft cards, manage upgrades, and synergize different demon factions in ways that allow for endless experimentation and strategic depth. There's a ton of variety and challenge here, with daily runs, mutators, and unlockable modifiers that keep it feeling fresh even after dozens of hours. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and takes about 100 hours to platinum. The Kingdom 2 Crowns Essentials Pack is $14.99 and includes the base game plus the Norse Lands and Call of Olympus expansions, making this the best way to experience one of the most relaxing strategy games on PSN. You play as a monarch traveling across side-scrolling pixel worlds, using only coins to manage your subjects, upgrade defenses, and slowly push back the creepy nighttime monsters called the Greed. The expansions add new biomes, mounts, and seasonal effects that bring fresh twists to your campaigns. It's a perfect mix of minimalist design and addictive progression. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Stasis Bone Totem is down to $11.99 and offers a gripping, slow-burn sci-fi horror experience for fans of old-school point-and-click adventures. You'll alternate between 3 characters with different abilities as they explore a mysterious deep-sea facility, uncovering a narrative filled with corporate greed, loss, and otherworldly threats. The isometric visuals and eerie sound design do a great job of selling the oppressive underwater atmosphere, and the puzzles are satisfyingly tricky without ever becoming frustrating. There's no platinum trophy here, but if you like methodical pacing, strong writing, and horror vibes, it's still absolutely worth your time. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and takes about 20 hours to get to 100%. The 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus Double Pack is on sale for $14.99 and brings together 2 of the best and funniest sim games in recent years. Hospital gives you the Jumbo Edition, complete with DLC like Bigfoot, Peverly Reef, Close Encounters, and Off the Grid, each adding new locations and challenges. Campus lets you design wacky universities filled with jousting classes, wizard schools, and space academies, and managing your students' happiness and success is just as important as profit. These games offer huge replay value and are great for players who enjoy micromanagement with a side of absurd humor. They're an 83 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 5 out of 10, and around 110 hours to platinum both games. Final Fantasy IV, just $11.69, is a cornerstone of the JRPG genre, and the Pixel Remaster version is a great way to experience it. The remastered graphics stay faithful to the original sprites while smoothing things out for modern displays, and the updated music is absolutely fantastic. Cecil's story of redemption, betrayal, and unlikely heroism set the tone for countless RPGs that followed, and the pacing still holds up remarkably well today. If you're trying to get into classic Final Fantasy or just want a bite-sized RPG with heart and history, this one's for you. It's sitting at an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 30 hours to platinum. Last up is Deep Rock Galactic Deluxe Edition for $12.86, a fantastic value for one of the most chaotic, satisfying co-op shooters out there. You and up to 3 friends play as dwarves exploring procedurally generated cave systems filled with alien bugs, minerals, and mayhem. Each class, gunner, scout, driller, and engineer, brings unique tools and abilities, encouraging strong teamwork and role specialization. The Deluxe Edition throws in the Dark Future and Megacorp cosmetic packs, but the real star is the constant stream of free updates and seasonal content. It's endlessly replayable and just a blast to play. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and can take up to 300 hours to platinum. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is currently $19.79, offering a fantastic blend of classic platforming nostalgia and modern design that really amps up the series' signature frantic pace and precision challenges. This installment pushes the envelope with new time manipulation mechanics, inventive levels, and a vibrant art style that feels both fresh and faithful to the roots of the franchise. The game's variety of playable characters and abundance of collectibles make every level a rewarding exploration filled with secrets and tricky platforming sequences. Beyond just the main story, the time trials and additional challenges provide a serious test for completionists and trophy hunters alike, making this a must-play for fans who want a deep and satisfying platforming experience. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Neo 2 is priced at $19.99 and stands as a masterclass in fast-paced, skill-heavy action RPGs steeped deeply in Japanese folklore and mythology, which enhances its immersive and dark atmosphere. This sequel builds impressively on the first game's solid foundation with a more flexible character creation system, deeper combat mechanics, and a wide array of weapons and magic styles that let players craft their own unique playstyles. The game challenges you relentlessly with punishing bosses and intense enemy encounters, but balances this with a rewarding loot and progression system that encourages experimentation and perseverance. Neo 2's sprawling world, filled with rich story elements and side quests, keeps you hooked for dozens of hours, especially if you enjoy fine-tuning your skills and strategies for maximum efficiency in combat. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. Hogwarts Legacy Digital Deluxe Edition is currently $15.99 and invites players to step into the shoes of a young witch or wizard in an open-world adventure set during the 1800s in the Harry Potter universe, a time before the events of the books. This edition is packed with extra digital content that enhances your magical journey through Hogwarts and beyond, giving you exclusive cosmetic items and in-game bonuses that make your experience even richer. The game expertly balances exploration, spellcasting, potion making, and engaging combat while immersing you in a living, breathing world full of mysteries and magical creatures. It successfully captures the charm and wonder of the wizarding world, making it a perfect pick for fans craving a deep narrative experience alongside open-ended gameplay. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Yakuza Like a Dragon Hero Edition is priced at $12.49 and refreshes the long-running franchise with a bold shift to turn-based RPG combat, introducing new strategic layers while maintaining the series' signature over-the-top storytelling and humor. Following Ichiban Kasuga's journey from underdog to hero, the game presents a sprawling Yokohama filled with vibrant characters, addictive side quests, and a surprising amount of heartfelt moments beneath its quirky surface. The Hero Edition includes exclusive digital extras that enhance your experience and add collectible value for fans of the franchise. With a strong mix of emotional storytelling, diverse minigames, and deep RPG mechanics, it's a great pick for players looking for something unique in the JRPG space. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Tales from the Borderlands is $14.99 and delivers a hilarious, choice-driven narrative adventure from Telltale Games set in the chaotic and colorful Borderlands universe. Its episodic format allows you to experience the story of two unlikely protagonists navigating through madness, loot, and mayhem with plenty of humor and heart. The game's dialogue-heavy gameplay and impactful player choices make each playthrough feel personal and engaging, while the witty writing keeps things light and entertaining throughout. Beyond the story, it also features clever puzzles and memorable characters that bring the Borderlands tone to life. It's a shorter experience, but one that leaves a lasting impression for fans of narrative-driven games and the Borderlands series alike. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 12 hours to platinum. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom Deluxe Edition is $15.99 and presents a gorgeous JRPG adventure that combines a heartfelt story, charming characters, and innovative kingdom-building mechanics that expand the traditional RPG formula. The deluxe version adds exclusive digital content that deepens your immersion in this beautifully animated world, crafted by veterans of Studio Ghibli, who bring the game's visuals and storybook aesthetic to life. With strategic combat, a large world to explore, and a variety of side activities and quests, the game offers a long and satisfying experience. Whether you're a fan of classic JRPGs or looking for a whimsical fantasy journey, this edition packs plenty of value and hours of gameplay. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 85 hours to platinum. Rogue Waters at $17.99 mixes tactical, turn-based combat with roguelike survival mechanics, plunging you into a procedurally generated island filled with threats and secrets that change with every run. Its permadeath system means every decision counts, forcing you to carefully manage resources, craft equipment, and strategize your battles to stay alive. The variety of character classes with unique skills adds further depth, encouraging diverse playstyles and replayability. The immersive atmosphere, combined with challenging gameplay, creates a tense survival experience that tests both your tactical thinking and resource management. For fans of strategy and survival games looking for high replayability and tense gameplay, Rogue Waters offers a rewarding and unique experience. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. Grounded, priced at $19.99, shrinks players down to the size of an insect in a backyard teeming with life and danger, blending survival, crafting, and exploration into a fresh and visually striking experience. The game's cooperative multiplayer is a highlight, allowing you to team up with friends to build bases, craft gear, and battle giant insects in a beautifully rendered microscopic world. Its evolving world, seasonal updates, and story quests continually add new content and challenges, keeping the gameplay loop engaging over time. The mix of survival tension with moments of wonder and discovery creates a unique vibe that appeals to a wide variety of players. If you're a survival game enthusiast looking for a unique setting and a strong multiplayer component, Grounded is a standout title worth your time. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is $14.99 and offers a clever and charming puzzle adventure where you manipulate objects as a ghost to save lives and uncover a deep murder mystery. Its innovative gameplay mechanics combined with a captivating story and distinctive art style make it a memorable experience for puzzle and narrative fans alike. The game's pacing, voice acting, and soundtrack enhance its immersive storytelling, while the puzzles ramp up steadily in complexity without becoming frustrating. Ghost Trick's unique mechanics and emotional narrative have earned it a cult following since release. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 13 hours to platinum. Marvel's Midnight Suns Digital Plus Edition is $15.99 and brings a darker, tactical RPG set in the Marvel Universe where you lead a team of supernatural heroes against a rising evil. The game offers deep strategic combat, customizable characters, and a story rich with emotional and character-driven moments that stand out from typical superhero fare. This Digital Plus edition includes exclusive content that enhances your team-building options and overall gameplay experience, such as skins, cards, and other cosmetic items. The combination of deck building and turn-based tactics adds a fresh spin to superhero games, rewarding strategic planning and team synergy. If you're a fan of turn-based tactics and Marvel lore, this game combines both worlds effectively and provides a rewarding challenge. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Final Fantasy V at $11.69 brings a timeless JRPG classic to modern audiences with its innovative job system, engaging narrative, and memorable soundtrack. While older, the PS4 version updates the experience for accessibility and smooth gameplay, allowing both newcomers and series veterans to enjoy its depth and charm. The game's flexible class system encourages creative character builds, and its quirky humor and memorable bosses add to the overall appeal. Fans of traditional turn-based RPGs looking for a classic experience will find a lot to love here, especially with the nostalgia factor intact. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy is $12.49 and bundles the complete reboot trilogy, charting Lara Croft's transformation from vulnerable survivor to experienced adventure through a mix of exploration, combat, and puzzle solving. This definitive edition enhances the visuals and performance, making it the best way to experience the story and gameplay improvements across all three titles. The extensive side quests, collectibles, and challenge tombs spread across the trilogy offer plenty of content for completionists, and the story delivers emotional and cinematic moments that keep players invested. The refined gameplay mechanics and improvements with each entry make this trilogy a must-play for fans of action-adventure games. It's an 83 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10 average, and about 95 hours to get the platinum in all three games. Castlevania Advance Collection is $10.99 and brings together three classic handheld adventures, Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow, plus the SNES title Dracula X. This collection celebrates the golden era of 2D action platformers with tight controls, gothic atmospheres, and an iconic soundtrack. Each game offers its own twist on exploration and combat, from Dracula's sprawling castle layouts to epic boss battles, while subtle gameplay evolutions keep the experience fresh across titles. Modern features like save states, rewind, and an art gallery enhance accessibility and historical appreciation, making this the definitive version for veterans and newcomers alike. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Persona 5 Strikers Digital Deluxe Edition is $17.49 and continues the Phantom Thieves story in a dynamic warrior-style action RPG. You'll join the team on a summer road trip across Japan, taking on action-packed jails in each city while enjoying the witty banter and striking art style the series is known for. The combat blends real-time hack-and-slash chaos with Persona's strategic elements, encouraging skillful use of abilities and elemental matchups. The Deluxe Edition offers extra music, costumes, and behind-the-scenes content that deepens immersion in this stylish spin-off. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered is $19.99 and revitalizes a legendary FPS campaign with updated visuals, sharper audio, and refined mechanics that make the gunplay as satisfying today as it was in its 2007 debut. Iconic missions like All Gillied Up and Shock and Awe are enhanced with realistic lighting and textures, pulling you deeper into the intensity. Multiplayer returns with the full map roster, letting you relive or discover its finely tuned competitive balance. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Botany Manor is $17.49 and offers a peaceful, immersive puzzle experience set in a stunning 19th century English estate. As a retired botanist, you explore sunlit gardens, grand hallways, and cozy greenhouses while solving nature-inspired puzzles to cultivate rare plants. The attention to detail, from the flutter of leaves in the breeze to the soft hum of insects, creates a sense of calm that's hard to find in most games. There's no platinum trophy, this is more about the journey than the achievement, but it's still a pretty satisfying escape. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 4 hours to 100%. Nightmare Reaper is $11.99 and delivers frenetic, retro-inspired FPS action with modern roguelike elements. You'll blast through nightmarish levels filled with grotesque monsters, using a ridiculous arsenal of weapons from shotguns to magical staves. Procedurally generated maps, upgrade trees, and addictive loot systems keep each run fresh, while the heavy metal soundtrack amps up the chaos. Beneath its pixeled exterior lies a surprisingly deep and replayable shooter with plenty of challenge and customization. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Deluxe Edition is $13.99 and lets you relive all 9 mainline Star Wars films in brick-built, humor-filled glory. This is the most ambitious LEGO game ever, offering massive open hubs to explore, refined combat mechanics, and an endless stream of collectibles that encourage thorough exploration. The Deluxe Edition includes bonus character packs, making the galaxy even more diverse and letting fans play as their favorite heroes and villains. Whether you're chasing studs, unlocking ships, or laughing at the series' signature visual gags, it's a joyous celebration of Star Wars for all ages. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Lost Judgment Digital Deluxe Edition is $13.99 and blends gripping detective drama with explosive action sequences. Set in the vibrant cities of Tokyo and Yokohama, you'll unravel a dark mystery by balancing intense street fights, stealth tactics, and quirky side activities like skateboarding and drone racing. The Deluxe Edition adds story expansions and extra content, giving you more reasons to dive deeper into this compelling world. RGG Studios' signature attention to detail and rich storytelling make this a must-play for fans of the Yakuza series and newcomers alike. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack is $17.99 and bundles 2 stylish, fast-paced action platformers into one slick package. With flashy combat, tight controls, and a vibrant anime-inspired aesthetic, the Gunvolt games scratch that classic Mega Man itch while introducing unique abilities like the Flash Field that lets you chain electrified combos. This pack includes enhanced visuals and all downloadable content, delivering the definitive experience for fans of the cult favorite series. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Spyro Reignited Trilogy is $13.99 and breathes new life into the Purple Dragon's adventures with gorgeous, modern visuals and re-recorded voice work. Across 3 games, you'll glide through colorful, whimsical worlds, solve clever platforming challenges, and take on quirky bosses. The controls have been refined to be smoother, and the level design remains timeless, perfectly capturing the charm that made Spyro a beloved classic for generations of players. It's an 82 on Metacritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 22 hours to get the platinum in all 3 games. Bionic Bay is $13.99 and delivers a surreal puzzle platforming experience that constantly plays with gravity, momentum, and physics to challenge your perceptions. Its world is strange yet beautiful, filled with shifting structures and mind-bending challenges that reward creative experimentation. As you progress, new mechanics are introduced that keep the gameplay fresh, while minimalist storytelling invites you to interpret the mysteries on your own terms. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 9 hours to platinum. Uno Ultimate Edition is $16.49 and reinvents the classic card game with a wealth of new themes, house rules, and explosive twists to keep matches lively and unpredictable. You can play with friends online, join global matches, or challenge AI opponents, all while enjoying animated backgrounds and playful sound effects. The Ultimate Edition includes all DLC packs, adding themed decks like Rayman and Just Dance for even more variety and fun. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 8 hours to platinum. F1 Manager 2024 Deluxe Edition is $13.49 and puts you in the driver's seat of a Formula One team, allowing you to manage every detail from race strategy to driver development and car upgrades. The Deluxe Edition adds extra scenarios and exclusive content, making it the most complete experience for motorsport enthusiasts. Featuring realistic visuals, deep simulation mechanics, and the intense thrill of making split-second decisions during high-stakes races, it's both challenging and rewarding for fans of management games and racing alike. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 105 hours to platinum. Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Demon Hunters is priced at $11.24 and drops you into the grim, war-torn universe of Warhammer 40k, where humanity's fate hangs by a thread against the encroaching forces of chaos. You'll lead the Grey Knights, an elite squad of genetically enhanced warriors, through fast-paced, turn-based tactical combat that demands precision, positioning, and synergy to overcome relentless foes. Each battle challenges you to master the strengths and gear of your unique squad members, using environmental destruction and tactical decision-making to turn the tide. The Bloom, a deadly galactic corruption, spreads dynamically across the campaign, forcing you to choose which planets to save and which to sacrifice. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. Have a Nice Death is priced at $12.49 and puts you in the role of an overworked Grim Reaper trying to restore order to his chaotic afterlife corporation. You'll explore procedurally generated departments of Death Inc., meeting a colorful cast of characters like your loyal pumpkin-headed assistant Pump Quinn, who's always ready with fresh gossip. Combat is fast-paced and hack-and-slash in style, giving you access to over 70 unique weapons and spells to mix and upgrade into devastating combos. Each run challenges you to battle through minions and bosses, with performance reviews unlocking new tools and abilities to help you push further. The game's curse system adds strategic depth, offering tempting power boosts that can also empower your enemies or raise resource costs, forcing you to weigh risk and reward. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum. Goodbye Volcano High is priced at $14.99 and delivers a story-driven, choice-based cinematic adventure about identity, relationships, and facing the end of the world. You play as Fang, a dinosaur teenager navigating friendships, family ties, crushes, and personal growth in the shadow of an impending meteor strike. Your choices influence the branching narrative, altering both Fang's self-perception and the way others see them, while building affinity with a diverse cast changes the outcome of the story. Music plays a central role, letting you write songs, play instruments, and perform original tracks using an interactive rhythm and lyric system that shapes the game's custom soundtrack. Between emotional moments, you'll engage with in-game dinosaur-themed social media, enjoy quirky minigames, and share everyday interactions that make the characters feel real. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising is priced at $19.49 and brings a polished, accessible fighting game experience that caters to both newcomers and seasoned players. Combat offers the full thrill of one-on-one battles without the need to memorize complex combos, thanks to simplified inputs that make skills easy to execute while keeping depth for those who want to master them. The game also features Grand Brews Legends, a lighthearted party mode filled with obstacle courses and survival games, offering a fun break from traditional matches. A story campaign takes you through the skies of the Grand Blue Fantasy universe, combining action RPG-inspired quests with character progression to keep gameplay fresh. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Everspace 2 is priced at $14.99 and delivers a fast-paced, single-player space shooter packed with high-stakes combat and loot-driven progression. You'll explore the war-torn star systems of Cluster 34, each handcrafted with secrets, puzzles, and hazards that make exploration as rewarding as the battles themselves. Dogfights are frantic and fluid, letting you dodge, dash, roll, and boost while unleashing a barrage of weapons to turn enemy ships into floating scrap. As you progress, you'll collect and upgrade a wide range of fighters from different classes, tailoring your build for speed, firepower, or survivability. The campaign offers 30 hours of story content alongside hidden treasures, alien encounters, and outlaw ambushes, with more than 100 unique locations spread across 7 star systems to discover. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. Siberia: The World Before is priced at $13.99 and tells a rich, dual timeline narrative that intertwines the lives of Kate Walker, a New York attorney turned reluctant adventurer, and Dana Rose, a gifted pianist in 1937 whose career is threatened by the rise of war. You'll travel from the shadowed cemeteries and high mountain passes of Eastern Europe to bustling cities, uncovering mysteries that bridge decades. The story blends exploration and puzzle solving, challenging you to repair intricate instruments, unlock complex mechanisms, and study your surroundings for subtle clues. Backed by the Budapest Film Symphony and composed by BANGER, the game's soundtrack adds emotional depth to every scene, matching the visual beauty of Benoit Sokol's steampunk-inspired world. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Like a Dragon Ishin is priced at $14.99 and transports the beloved Yakuza series formula to 1860s Japan, blending historical fiction with the over-the-top charm fans know and love. You step into the shoes of Sakamoto Ryoma, a samurai navigating political upheaval, personal revenge, and shifting loyalties in the twilight of the shogunate. The combat system combines swordplay, gunfighting, and martial arts into 4 unique styles you can switch between mid-battle, allowing for fluid, cinematic encounters. Outside of the main story, a wealth of side content awaits, from farming and gambling to fishing and singing, each bursting with personality and humor. The game's world feels alive thanks to richly detailed environments, expressive characters, and a perfect mix of serious drama and ridiculous side activities. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. SnowRunner is priced at $19.99 and puts you behind the wheel of powerful vehicles as you tackle some of the most extreme and dynamic open environments ever simulated. With 40 vehicles from top brands like Ford, Chevrolet, and Freightliner, you'll push through mud, torrential waters, snow, and frozen lakes, mastering an advanced physics engine that truly challenges your driving skills. The game's missions and contracts require you to strategize vehicle upgrades and accessories like exhaust snorkels for deep waters or chain tires for icy terrain, letting you customize your fleet for every challenge. Whether you prefer solo rides or teaming up with friends, SnowRunner supports up to 4-player co-op across a vast interconnected world, making every expedition unpredictable and rewarding. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 180 hours to platinum. Life is Strange: True Colors is priced at $17.99 and ushered in a bold new chapter of the acclaimed Life is Strange series, featuring a fresh lead character and a gripping mystery. You play as Alex Chen, who hides a supernatural gift, the power to sense, absorb, and manipulate the strong emotions of others, seen as vivid, colored auras. When tragedy strikes with her brother's sudden death, Alex must embrace this volatile ability to uncover dark secrets buried deep within the seemingly peaceful town of Haven Springs. This emotional adventure lets you change fate through empathy, building deep relationships with townsfolk and pursuing friendship or romance with key characters like Ryan and Steph. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 6 hours to platinum. Edge of Sanity is priced at $10.99 and plunges you into a psychological survival horror set in the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness, featuring handcrafted 2D art inspired by the Cthulhu mythos. You play as a member of a resupply team who finds a research station deserted and overrun by horrific creatures, forcing you to establish a makeshift camp and unravel the dark secrets of the mysterious Prism organization. The game's intense atmosphere and narrative-driven approach challenge you to explore hostile caves, mines, and laboratories while scavenging for scarce resources and managing your survivors' morale to prepare for perilous expeditions. Madness plays a key role here. Your characters accumulate traumas from harrowing events, affecting their actions, dialogues, and crafting options, adding a permanent psychological weight to your decisions. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Teardown Deluxe Edition is priced at $19.99 and offers a unique heist experience set in fully destructible voxel environments that let you tear down walls, build structures, and creatively solve problems with a variety of tools and vehicles. The Deluxe Edition includes the base game plus 2 campaign expansions, Time Campers, a Wild West-themed story, and Folk Race, which adds new vehicles and destructive racing modes, giving you plenty of ways to mix up your gameplay. In the campaign, you take on shady jobs involving car theft, demolition, and high-stakes escapes, while upgrading your arsenal by scavenging hidden valuables. The sandbox mode lets you unleash your creativity without limits, building and experimenting with an abundance of vehicles and tools, while the challenge modes and robust mod support keep gameplay fresh with community-created content. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Moving Out 2 Deluxe Edition is priced at $16.49 and brings back the wacky, physics-based moving simulator with even more chaotic fun, letting you work solo or team up with up to 3 friends locally or online. As a member of the Smooth Moves crew, now including the Fartastic Four, Chum, Bastion, Ludacris, and Ceratops, you'll tackle all new worlds beyond Packmore, accessed through interdimensional portals, packed with silly challenges and hectic action. The game features fresh characters alongside familiar faces like Ryu and Sydney, and offers a range of accessibility options including assist mode, making it a great pick for players of all skill levels. Between customizable movers, varied levels, and multiplayer modes with cross-play support, Moving Out 2 delivers a fun, family-friendly experience with plenty of laughs and teamwork. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Persona 5 Royal is on sale for $20.99, and if you're into stylish, turn-based RPGs with incredible character work and music, this is an absolute must-buy. It's a massive, story-rich experience that blends dungeon crawling with high school life sim elements, and this version includes all the DLC, extra characters, and narrative additions that elevate the whole thing. It features a great battle system that really rewards strategic planning, and the writing holds up through its massive runtime. The art direction is iconic, the soundtrack is loaded with bangers, and the social link system adds a satisfying layer of progression between dungeons. It's a 95 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and around 120 hours to platinum. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is down to $41.99 and continues Square Enix's bold reimagining of the original classic with a huge open world, tons of party customization, and one of the best active time battle systems of the generation. The storytelling is stronger than ever, with big character moments that reward both new players and longtime fans, and it delivers one of the most cinematic RPG experiences you can play on PS5. Combat is fast, responsive, and deep, and the world is packed with optional content, mini-games, and side characters to discover. The scale of the environments is huge compared to the first game, and there's an emotional weight to everything that pays off massively by the end. It's a 92 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and around 200 hours to platinum. The Talos Principle Reawakened brings back one of the most thoughtful and meditative puzzle games of the last decade, now rebuilt from the ground up for PS5 with completely modern visuals and DualSense support that adds a layer of tactile immersion to the quiet mystery of the world. You play as an android navigating a surreal ancient world filled with intricate environmental puzzles, philosophical musings, and subtle narrative choices that challenge the nature of consciousness and free will. There's no platinum trophy here, which may be a bummer for some, but it's still a pretty manageable 25 hours if you want to see and solve everything. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and around 25 hours to 100%. Just be aware that one of the trophies is currently broken, so hopefully Crow Team fixes it soon. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth Deluxe Edition is $33.99 and easily one of the funniest and most heartfelt RPGs you'll play this year, continuing Ichiban's journey with a blend of absurd humor and genuinely touching moments. The new Hawaii setting offers a fresh vibe for the series while still keeping all the over-the-top combat and outrageous side quests the series is known for. There are tons of jobs to try out, a whole Animal Crossing style management minigame, and the turn-based combat remains fun and strategic. The Deluxe Edition comes with some useful XP boosts and character perks that help smooth out the pacing early on, and the Master Vacation Pack, which includes New Game Plus and a bonus dungeon. It's an 89 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 90 hours to platinum. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Gold Edition is $62.99, and while it's a newer release, this bundle already includes the base game and all the early content, making it a solid pickup if you're into grounded medieval RPGs. It's a slow burn, focusing on realism and historical immersion with deep systems around stamina, armor, swordplay, and dialogue. The sequel improves on everything from the first game, especially in terms of quest variety, animations, and performance. The world feels very lived in, with factions and politics that impact how characters treat you, and every upgrade feels earned through effort rather than grinding. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and around 130 hours to platinum. Horizon Forbidden West is down to $29.99, and if you've been holding off on this one, now's a great time to jump in, especially with the DLC out there too. The world is lush and full of mechanical creatures that you'll need to hunt, tame, and dismantle with a huge arsenal of tools and weapons, and it's packed with quality of life upgrades over the first game. Aloy's story is still the main focus, but the supporting cast and side missions really shine here, making it feel like a true step forward for the franchise. The skill tree allows for different builds depending on your playstyle, and the new traversal options open up exploration in a really satisfying way. It's an 88 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 35 hours to platinum. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance Digital Deluxe Edition is $31.49, and this is the best way to experience SMTV if you missed it on Switch. This version includes 2 major story routes, improved visuals and performance, and tons of balance tweaks to make it feel like the definitive edition. Combat is brutally tough but extremely rewarding, and Demon Fusion is still one of the most addictive systems in all of JRPGs. The story leans darker than Persona, but it's still packed with philosophical choices and intense battles that challenge you every step of the way. It also features a huge cast of demons, all with distinct strengths and weaknesses, and the new side quests help flesh out the world. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10 depending on which difficulty you pick, and around 110 hours to platinum. Final Fantasy XVI is on sale for $29.99, and while it's a departure from the series' turn-based roots, it's a cinematic action game that goes hard on spectacle and boss fights. The combat feels like Devil May Cry meets traditional Final Fantasy, with flashy moves and smooth character control, and Clive's journey is one of the most emotionally charged arcs we've seen in a while. The world is a bit more segmented than you'd expect, but it still offers side quests, exploration, and big moments of visual storytelling. The icon battles are straight-up playable anime episodes, and the voice work, especially in English, is top tier. It's an 87 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 75 hours to platinum. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Premium Edition is $69.99, and this one's a bold mix of old-school adventure and modern FPS mechanics, offering cinematic moments that feel ripped straight out of the films. You'll get the premium content bundled in, including a story expansion down the line and extra cosmetics. It's not just about punching Nazis and solving puzzles, there's a real emphasis on pacing and environmental storytelling that makes each chapter feel different. The whip mechanics are surprisingly fun, and the puzzles do a great job of making you feel like a clever explorer rather than just an action hero. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 45 hours to platinum. Dragon's Dogma 2 is down to $29.39, and if you like RPGs with deep combat systems and emergent gameplay, this is an easy recommendation. The pawn systems return with even more flexibility, and the new vocations feel distinct and satisfying. There's a ton of optional content, and the way the world reacts to your choices makes each run feel a bit different. Climbing on enemies in combat is still a blast, and the sense of danger never fully disappears even when you're leveled up. Some technical issues are still around, but the core gameplay loop is so good it's hard to put down. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and around 50 hours to platinum. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is $35.49, and this is the definitive version of the game, including the full Phantom Liberty expansion and all the major updates CDPR has pushed out. The new police system, skill trees, and vehicle combat all completely rework the core experience into something much tighter and more engaging. Night City still looks incredible on PS5, and the story hits even harder with the refined pacing and stronger dialogue. Phantom Liberty alone is worth the price, offering a spy thriller vibe with new characters and meaningful choices. It's an 86 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 70 hours to platinum. Shadow Gambit, the Cursed Crew Complete Edition, is $34.99, and it's a real gem for fans of stealth tactics from the same devs who made Desperados 3 and Shadow Tactics. You're commanding a crew of undead pirates, each with their own unique powers, in an open-ended island setting full of guards to sneak past, distract, or eliminate. The Save Anytime system encourages experimentation, and the world design lets you approach objectives however you like. It's got charm, style, and smart level design that rewards clever thinking, and the Complete Edition includes all post-launch content. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and around 75 hours to platinum. Outer Wilds Archaeologist Edition for $23.99 brings you into an award-winning time loop adventure where you explore a mysterious solar system trapped in an endless 22-minute cycle. This edition includes the base game plus the Echoes of the Eye DLC expansion, offering a complete exploration experience that has captivated players worldwide. Players race against time to piece together clues from an ancient civilization while exploring planets that change dynamically within each loop, creating unique scenarios each time. The Cosmic Mystery challenges you to uncover secrets about a lost race before the sun goes supernova and resets everything once again, making each discovery feel precious and urgent. It's an 85 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Doom: The Dark Ages Premium Edition for $74.99 takes the legendary demon-slaying franchise back to a medieval setting as a prequel to the modern Doom reboot series. This premium edition includes campaign DLC, a digital art book, soundtrack, and exclusive Divinity skin packs that enhance the overall experience. The game introduces new medieval-inspired weapons and mechanics while maintaining the series' signature fast-paced, brutal combat against the forces of hell. Players step into the blood-stained boots of the Doomslayer in this dark and sinister medieval war that tells an epic cinematic story of rage and vengeance against demonic hordes. The medieval twist brings fresh gameplay elements while preserving the intense action that fans expect from the franchise. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak Digital Deluxe Edition for $71.99 marks the beginning of a new arc in Falcom's acclaimed JRPG series, taking players to the politically complex Calvard Republic. This sprawling narrative follows Spriggan Van Arkwright as he navigates political intrigue and supernatural threats in a richly detailed world filled with memorable characters. The Digital Deluxe Edition includes additional story content, character costumes, and behind-the-scenes material that expand upon the already extensive main campaign that can easily consume over 100 hours. The game features both turn-based and real-time combat systems, allowing players to switch between tactical and action-oriented gameplay styles depending on their preferences and the situation at hand. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Disgaea 7 Complete Edition for $76.99 brings the latest entry in Nippon Ichi's beloved tactical RPG series with all downloadable content included from launch. Set in a Japan-inspired netherworld called Hinamoto, players follow Fuji and Pirulika as they battle against Bushido-obsessed demons threatening their chaotic way of life. This complete edition includes additional character classes, story scenarios, and quality-of-life improvements that make the complex tactical gameplay more accessible. The series is renowned for its astronomical damage numbers reaching into the millions, alongside trademark dark humor and over-the-top anime aesthetics. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. Planet Coaster Premium Edition for $22.49 delivers the ultimate theme park simulation experience with all major DLC packs included in this comprehensive package that represents exceptional value. Players can design, build, and manage their dream theme park with an incredibly detailed construction system that allows for piece-by-piece construction of custom roller coasters and attractions. The Premium Edition includes additional theme packs, ride types, and scenery options that expand creative possibilities beyond the base game offerings, giving players countless hours of building potential. The intuitive yet deep building tools accommodate both casual players who want quick results and dedicated builders who spend hours perfecting every detail of their attractions. It's an 84 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Octopath Traveler for $23.99 presents a unique blend of classic JRPG storytelling with modern HD 2D visual artistry that creates a distinctive storybook aesthetic. Following 8 different protagonists across interconnected yet individual storylines, players experience multiple perspectives of adventure, revenge, discovery, and redemption. The innovative HD 2D art style combines traditional 2D character sprites with detailed 3D environments and dynamic lighting effects. Combat utilizes a traditional turn-based system enhanced by the boost mechanic, allowing players to store turn points to unleash powerful attacks or extend actions for strategic advantage. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Age of Wonders 4 Premium Edition for $58.49 combines grand strategy empire building with tactical turn-based combat in a fantasy setting where players create and customize their own magical factions. This Premium Edition includes the base game plus expansion content that adds new cultures, magical tomes, and story campaigns. Players design their factions' traits and cultural background before leading them through ages of technological and magical advancement. The strategic layer involves city management, resource gathering, diplomacy, and exploration across procedurally generated worlds filled with ancient ruins and rival civilizations. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 70 hours of platinum. Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled Nitrous Oxide Edition for $20.99 revitalizes the beloved kart racing classic with completely rebuilt visuals, enhanced gameplay mechanics, and extensive additional content. This Nitrous Oxide Edition includes the base game, adventure mode, and substantial post-launch content that more than doubles the original game's track count and character roster. The racing mechanics retain the precise control and challenging skill requirements that made the original a favorite among competitive players, while adding modern conveniences. Adventure mode provides a substantial single-player campaign with hub world exploration, boss battles, and collectible challenges. It's an 83 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. Tales of Grace's F Remastered Deluxe Edition for $44.99 brings the acclaimed JRPG to modern platforms with enhanced visuals, improved performance, and additional story content that expands upon the original experience. Following Asbel Drant and his childhood friends, the story explores themes of friendship, duty, and sacrifice across 2 interconnected time periods. The Deluxe Edition includes the base game, Battle BGM Pack, digital art book, and soundtrack, plus the Super Growth Support Herb set containing various enhancement items. This edition also includes the Lineage and Legacies epilogue arc that continues the story 6 months after the main campaign's conclusion. The combat system blends real-time action with RPG mechanics, allowing players to chain attacks and execute powerful combination techniques with party members. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream Ultimate Edition for $57.49 continues the beloved alchemy-focused JRPG series with a dreamlike adventure that emphasizes crafting, exploration, and character relationships. The Ultimate Edition includes the Digital Deluxe Edition base content plus the Season Pass, granting access to 14 DLCs and bonus Sophie and Ramazel costumes. Players follow Sophie and her assistant Plakta as they navigate a mysterious dream world to reunite while helping the realm's inhabitants. The sophisticated alchemy system allows players to craft items using gathered materials with timing-based minigames that affect the quality and properties of created items. The Ultimate Edition provides the most comprehensive version of this enchanting adventure with extensive additional content beyond the main story. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. Trails of Cold Steel 3 Digital Deluxe Edition for $27.99 continues the epic saga of Class 7 instructor Reen Schwartzer as he guides a new group of students while confronting the consequences of previous conflicts. This Digital Deluxe Edition includes additional story scenarios, character episodes, and cosmetic items that expand upon the substantial main campaign. The game builds upon its predecessor's turn-based combat system with new mechanics like the break system, which rewards strategic targeting of enemy weaknesses. Political intrigue and military conflict serve as backdrops for personal character development as students navigate complex relationships while preparing for an uncertain future. It's an 82 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. Assassin's Creed Legendary Collection for $39.99 packages 6 complete entries from Ubisoft's historical action-adventure franchise into a comprehensive bundle that spans different time periods and assassin protagonists. This collection includes Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Each title features the series' signature blend of parkour movement, stealth assassination, and open-world exploration within meticulously researched historical environments, ranging from the Golden Age of piracy to ancient Egypt and Greece. The games follow different assassins as they navigate political conspiracies and ancient conflicts between the Assassin Brotherhood and Templar Order across centuries of human history. It's a 79 average on Metacritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 290 hours to get the platinum in all 6 games. A Plague Tale bundle is now available for $31.99, bringing together both A Plague Tale Innocence and its award-winning sequel, A Plague Tale Requiem, in one hauntingly beautiful package. In Innocence, you step into the role of Amicia, a young girl in 14th century France tasked with protecting her little brother Hugo from the Inquisition while surviving the deadly Black Plague. The sequel, Requiem, pushes the story and gameplay even further with lush, larger environments, more open stealth encounters, and a richer emotional arc. The bundle offers incredible storytelling, gorgeous visuals, and a seamless mix of stealth, puzzle solving, and tense survival gameplay. Both games are critically praised for their deep character development and atmospheric world building, making this a perfect pickup for anyone who loves narrative-driven adventures with just the right dose of danger. It's an 82 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to get both platinums. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Deluxe Edition is priced at $69.99, and it's a dream come true for Dragon Ball fans who grew up with the Budokai Tenkaichi series. This isn't just a fighting game. It's a massive, fully 3D arena brawler that lets you recreate, rewrite, or completely invent your favorite battles across the Dragon Ball universe. The Deluxe Edition sweetens the deal by adding the Season Pass and exclusive in-game items, ensuring you have every character and arena at your fingertips as new content drops. The roster is absolutely huge, spanning heroes, villains, and transformations from Dragon Ball, Z, Super, and even GT. With destructible environments, lightning-fast combat, and cinematic special moves faithful to the anime, every match feels like an episode straight from the show. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Earth Defense Force World Brothers 2 goes for $24.99, and if you're in the mood for completely over-the-top action that doesn't take itself too seriously, this is the perfect pick. This sequel to the voxel-style spin-off sees the Earth once again under attack by gigantic alien insects, robots, and kaiju-sized monstrosities. Your job? Blow them up, rescue civilians, and assemble a custom squad of heroes from across the EDF universe. The blocky, colorful art style gives it a lighthearted feel, but make no mistake, things get chaotic fast with swarms of hundreds of enemies filling the screen at once. You can mix and match over 100 different characters with unique weapons and abilities, leading to ridiculous combinations and endless replayability. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. The Ghost Runner game bundle at $27.49 is an electrifying first-person action experience that fuses lightning-fast parkour movement with precise one-hit kill combat. This bundle includes the original Ghost Runner and its sequel, offering a double dose of cyberpunk thrills. You'll sprint across walls, dodge bullets in slow motion, and slice through your enemies with your katana in a neon-soaked dystopian city. Each level is a deadly puzzle of movement and timing where one mistake means starting over, but mastering the flow feels incredible. The sequel expands the playground with new powers, motorcycle segments, and even more verticality, keeping the adrenaline high from start to finish. It's an 81 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to get both platinums. Planet Zoo Deluxe Edition is offered for $29.99, and it's the ultimate zoo management experience for animal lovers and simulation fans alike. In this edition, you get the base game plus 16 extra animals like the capybara, platypus, and Asian small-clawed otter, along with 2 additional campaign scenarios, the digital soundtrack, and a beautiful art book. You'll design sprawling habitats, manage staff and finances, and keep your animals healthy and happy while delighting visitors. The attention to detail is astounding, from the way animals behave realistically to the ecosystem mechanics that make every decision matter. Whether you're crafting a lush rainforest for gorillas or a sprawling savanna for lions, it's a deeply creative and satisfying experience. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Jagged Alliance 3, priced $29.99, blends classic turn-based strategy with RPG-style decision-making and a gritty mercenary narrative. Set in the fictional nation of Grand Chien, you hire and command a ragtag group of mercs to rescue the kidnapped president and restore order. Every mercenary has unique personalities, skills, and quirks which can affect relationships and mission outcomes. The game's tactical combat is highly customizable, letting you approach missions with stealth, full frontal assaults, or clever environmental traps. With branching storylines, strategic territory control, and a dynamic day-night cycle, no 2 campaigns play out the same. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. Fate Samurai Remnant Digital Deluxe Edition at $49.99 takes the beloved Fate franchise into an Edo period action RPG setting. You'll play as Miyamoto Iori, a young swordsman caught up in the Waxing Moon Ritual, a deadly contest involving powerful masters and their summoned servants. The game blends fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with exploration of beautifully realized historical districts in Edo, each filled with side quests, treasure, and lore to discover. The Deluxe Edition includes the Season Pass, hallowed relic sword mountings, and a digital art book and soundtrack, making it the definitive way to experience this samurai epic. Fans of the Fate series will appreciate the intricate character relationships and branching storylines, while newcomers will find it an accessible entry point. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie Deluxe Edition, tagged at $49.49, is a massive JRPG that serves as the bridge between multiple story arcs in the Trails series. You can switch between 3 main protagonists at will, following their intertwined journeys through a politically charged world full of intrigue and danger. The game features a robust turn-based combat system with deep customization, tons of side quests, and a staggering amount of dialogue and lore. The Deluxe Edition comes with a set of starter items and cosmetics to give your characters a boost and a little extra flair. Whether you're a longtime fan or jumping in fresh, it's an epic journey packed with character development and rewarding exploration. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Ray's Arcade Chronology for $24.99 is a love letter to arcade shoot-'em-up fans. This collection brings together Ray Force, Ray Storm, and Ray Crisis, remastered in crisp HD with optional quality-of-life features like save states and online leaderboards. Each title offers its own take on the classic vertical shooter formula, with lock-on targeting mechanics that were groundbreaking at the time and are still satisfying today. Whether you're dodging intricate bullet patterns or chasing high scores, this is a must-own for shmup enthusiasts and retro gamers. The package also includes original arcade versions for purists and modern modes for newcomers. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 8 hours to platinum. Company of Heroes 3 Premium Edition at $39.99 combines the gripping squad-based tactics of the series with a new dynamic campaign map set in the Mediterranean theater of World War II. You'll command troops in both real-time battles and a turn-based strategic layer, deciding when to push forward, dig in, or launch daring flanking maneuvers. The Premium Edition includes the base game, cosmetic packs, and the first major expansion, giving you more factions, missions, and customization options right from the start. The blend of tactical depth and cinematic presentation makes every battle feel like a pivotal moment in the war. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Monster Hunter Stories Deluxe Collection, priced $34.99, bundles together Monster Hunter Stories and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, along with all Deluxe Edition bonuses. These spin-offs reimagine the Monster Hunter formula as story-driven RPGs, where you hatch, raise, and battle alongside monster companions rather than hunting them. You'll explore colorful worlds, engage in turn-based combat, and forge bonds with iconic creatures from the main series. The Deluxe Collection adds extra outfits, layered armor, and cosmetic options to personalize your adventure. With rich stories, charming visuals, and deep monster-raising mechanics, it's a fantastic package for fans of RPGs and Monster Hunter alike. It's a 79 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 4 out of 10, and about 140 hours to get both platinums. The Mega Man 30th Anniversary Bundle at $29.99 is a treasure trove for fans of the Blue Bomber. This collection includes the Mega Man Legacy Collection, games 1 through 6, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, games 7 through 10, Mega Man X Legacy Collection, X 1 through 4, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2, X 5 through 8, and Mega Man 11. It's decades of platforming perfection in one package, from the precise, challenging design of the 8-bit classics to the flashy, fast-paced action of the X series and the modern polish of Mega Man 11. You'll get to see how the series evolved over the years, with countless bosses to defeat, secrets to uncover, and music tracks to hum long after you've turned off the console. It's a 75 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 5 out of 10, and about 115 hours to finish all 5 games. Just be aware that the original Mega Man Legacy Collection and Legacy Collection 2 don't have platinums. The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered Deluxe Edition is $47.99 and offers a beautifully updated take on the beloved open-world RPG, featuring enhanced visuals, all DLC expansions, and quality-of-life improvements that make revisiting Tamriel's vast and detailed world even more enjoyable. You'll explore sprawling landscapes filled with dungeons, towns, and dynamic NPCs while engaging in deep role-playing elements like character customization, faction quests, and moral choices that influence the story's outcome. The Deluxe Edition adds new quests for unique Akatosh and Mehrunes Dagon armors, weapons, and horse armor sets, as well as a digital art book and soundtrack. Whether you're a returning fan or discovering Oblivion for the first time, this remaster balances nostalgia with modern polish, making it easier than ever to get lost in the immersive fantasy world. It's a 94 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. The Okami and Kunitsugami bundle is $44.99 and pairs 2 visually stunning action-adventure titles that celebrate Japanese folklore and mythology with striking sumie art styles and heartfelt narratives. Okami lets you play as Amaterasu, the sun goddess in wolf form, wielding celestial brush techniques to restore life and color to a cursed world, while Kunitsugami offers a complementary experience steeped in traditional tales and engaging gameplay that expands on the first game's themes. This bundle includes 2 platinum trophies, rewarding completionists who want to fully experience the rich stories and beautifully crafted worlds of both games. With fluid combat, clever puzzles, and memorable characters, this collection is perfect for anyone who loves artistic, narrative-driven adventures that combine myth and gameplay in a truly unique way. It's an 87 average on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 4 out of 10, and about 85 hours to get both platinums. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is $32.49 and delivers high-octane hack-and-slash action featuring the ruthless ninja Ryu Hayabusa, whose lightning-fast combos and brutal finishers make for intense, satisfying combat encounters. The Black Edition ramps up the challenge with additional weapons, costumes, and difficulty modes, inviting both newcomers and veterans to test their skills against waves of formidable enemies and epic bosses. The game's slick, aggressive combat system rewards timing and precision, and the dark, atmospheric environments immerse you in a gritty, action-packed world that demands focus and skill to conquer. For fans of fast-paced melee combat with a tough edge, this edition offers a satisfying, adrenaline-fueled experience that keeps you on your toes from start to finish. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition is $24.99 and packs all the base game content along with every DLC expansion, delivering a massive, loot-driven first-person shooter experience packed with humor, chaotic gunplay, and colorful characters. You'll explore diverse worlds, teaming up in co-op or going solo as you hunt down legendary loot and take on over-the-top enemies and bosses. The Ultimate Edition includes every add-on mission and customization option, ensuring hours of high-energy, endlessly replayable gameplay that can be as wild or as tactical as you want it to be. With its signature cel-shaded art style and zany storytelling, Borderlands 3 offers a unique blend of shooter and RPG elements that keeps fans hooked for the long haul. Whether you prefer precision shooting or explosive chaos, this edition has you covered. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. Atelier Arland Series Deluxe Pack is $44.99 and bundles 3 beloved entries in the long-running Atelier franchise, offering deep alchemy crafting, charming characters, and engaging turn-based combat across beautifully crafted fantasy worlds. Each game in the pack, Rorona, Totori, and Meruru, features its own unique storyline and refinement of the series' mechanics, with this deluxe edition including 3 platinum trophies for those who want to fully immerse themselves in the sprawling adventure. The series' blend of time management, item synthesis, and heartfelt narrative creates a rich RPG experience that rewards exploration and experimentation, appealing to both newcomers and longtime fans alike. With hundreds of hours of content, including side quests and optional bosses, the pack ensures a satisfying experience filled with character growth and world building. It's an 81 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty average around 4 out of 10, and about 195 hours to get all 3 platinums. Hypercharge Unboxed is $23.99 and transforms classic toy battles into fast-paced first-person shooters where you control action figures defending their territory from waves of hostile invaders in miniature environments. The game shines with its inventive level design that turns everyday household settings into thrilling battlegrounds, combining tower defense and FPS mechanics for a unique experience that feels fresh and fun. Cooperative multiplayer adds to the excitement as you strategize with friends to build defenses and eliminate threats, creating chaotic but rewarding gameplay moments. Despite its simple premise, Hypercharge's mix of frantic combat and resource management keeps gameplay engaging and fresh across the 20-hour campaign, making it an accessible yet challenging title for shooter fans looking for something different. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Fantasian Neo Dimension is $32.49 and offers a beautiful homage to classic JRPGs with handcrafted diorama-style environments and traditional turn-based combat that emphasizes tactical positioning and skillful team management. Created by Final Fantasy co-creator Hironobu Sakaguchi, this spiritual successor weaves an emotional, sprawling sci-fi tale with deep customization and memorable characters. The game balances nostalgia with modern gameplay refinements, providing around 80 hours of content packed with challenging battles and a story that explores themes of identity and humanity. Its unique art style and haunting soundtrack elevate the overall experience, making it a must-play for genre fans who appreciate both story depth and strategic combat. The extensive skill trees and character interactions add layers of complexity and engagement. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. Hunt Showdown 1896 Deluxe Edition is $26.99 and throws you into the gritty, atmospheric world of late 19th century monster hunting, where you'll track supernatural beasts in tense PvPvE matches that blend survival horror and competitive multiplayer. The Deluxe Edition adds extra weapons, skins, and quality-of-life features, enhancing the base experience that demands strategic planning, stealth, and sharp shooting. Matches are intense and unpredictable, with a heavy emphasis on risk versus reward as players fight not only monsters, but each other to claim bounties. The game's immersive sound design and dark, gritty visuals help build a haunting ambiance that keeps every hunt thrilling and full of suspense. This edition also provides extensive progression options and seasonal events that keep players coming back for more. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. Sonic X Shadow Generations Digital Deluxe Edition is $35.99 and celebrates two iconic hedgehogs in a collection that spans high-speed platforming and thrilling action sequences, blending Sonic Generations classic levels with Shadow the Hedgehog's darker narrative and gunplay elements. The Digital Deluxe Edition includes extra costumes, missions, and soundtrack tracks, offering fans plenty of content to enjoy while racing through vibrant, fast-paced worlds filled with memorable characters and challenging stages. The contrasting styles of the two heroes provide varied gameplay experiences that appeal to both longtime Sonic fans and newcomers alike, combining nostalgia with fresh twists on beloved mechanics. The fast-paced gameplay is balanced with fun exploration elements and boss fights, making this edition a comprehensive package. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Wolong Fallen Dynasty Complete Edition is $35.99 and plunges you into a dark fantasy reinterpretation of China's Three Kingdoms era, where brutal melee combat meets supernatural elements in challenging battles that test your reflexes and strategy. The Complete Edition bundles the base game with all expansions and cosmetic packs, delivering a comprehensive experience full of intense encounters, deep character progression, and atmospheric storytelling. Its fluid combat system rewards precision timing and tactical choices, while the richly detailed environments immerse you in a world torn between human conflict and otherworldly forces, filled with memorable enemies and rewarding challenges. The game also boasts a compelling narrative that weaves history and myth in an engaging way, keeping players hooked throughout their journey. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Under Night in Birth 2 Cis Celis is $24.99 and serves up fast, technical 2D fighting with a colorful cast of characters, each boasting unique moves and mechanics that reward precise execution and strategy in one-on-one battles. The game's mechanics combine accessibility for newcomers with depth for competitive players, featuring stylish combos and visually striking special attacks that keep every match feeling fresh and intense. While it has a relatively short estimated completion time, the trophy list encourages mastering the intricate systems and exploring all characters to truly appreciate the depth on offer. Fans of classic anime fighters will appreciate the fluid animations and robust online modes that keep matches engaging, competitive, and highly replayable. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and only about 5 hours to platinum. Remnant 2 Ultimate Edition is $27.99 and builds on the co-op third-person shooter formula with procedurally generated worlds, challenging bosses, and a rich variety of weapons and armor that cater to multiple playstyles. The Ultimate Edition includes all DLC and expansions, offering a comprehensive journey through hostile environments filled with deadly creatures and strategic combat scenarios that reward teamwork and adaptability. The game's blend of gunplay and melee, combined with RPG progression, ensures that no two runs feel quite the same, making it addictive for those who enjoy replayability and tactical depth. Whether you're playing solo or with friends, Remnant 2 delivers a tense, rewarding experience that balances exploration, challenge, and customization perfectly. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Complete Edition is priced at $34.99 and includes the base game along with all expansions such as Wrath of the Druids and The Siege of Paris, plus extra bonus content. This Viking epic drops you into Dark Ages England, where you'll raid settlements, forge alliances, and uncover a sprawling story filled with political intrigue and Norse mythology, blending exploration, combat, and stealth. Each region offers its own flavor, from bustling towns and rolling countrysides to mysterious ruins, and the DLC packs expand the world with new maps, enemies, and quest lines that add dozens of extra hours. The gameplay loop combines satisfying melee and ranged combat with settlement building and light RPG systems, and while some may find the side content repetitive, the sheer amount of activities keeps you busy. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. Ys 9 Monstrum Nox Digital Deluxe Edition costs $29.99 and delivers a fast-paced action RPG set in a sprawling Gothic city where supernatural powers grant you unique ways to explore. The Digital Deluxe Edition packs in a digital art book, soundtrack, and in-game costumes, making it a great pick for fans who want extras alongside the main adventure. Combat is smooth, flashy, and responsive, encouraging you to experiment with different monstrum abilities while chaining together combos against hordes of enemies and powerful bosses. Exploration is equally engaging thanks to vertical movement options and hidden secrets tucked into every district, with optional side quests and dungeons that flesh out the city's mysteries. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence is priced at $29.99 and delivers a deep, historically grounded grand strategy experience set in Japan's Warring States period. You'll manage cities, armies, and resources while forging alliances and betraying rivals in your quest to unify the country, with every choice influencing the ever-shifting political landscape. The layered systems demand patience and forethought, from developing infrastructure and managing diplomacy to commanding large-scale battles in real time, making it a title that rewards strategic thinkers. Campaigns can last dozens of hours, and each playthrough offers new scenarios, leaders, and challenges that keep the experience fresh despite its complexity. It's an 80 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. Sunder Folk is priced at $39.99 and reimagines the idea of a game night as a tactical co-op RPG you can play with friends on the couch or across the world. One copy is all you need for everyone to join in instantly using their phone or tablet as a controller, guidebook, and player sheet, making setup seamless and accessible. Together, you'll tackle challenging missions, use skill cards to plan your moves, and coordinate turn order to outsmart enemies and take down epic bosses. Between battles, you'll spend time in the cozy village of Arden, upgrading shops, meeting locals, and uncovering gear that deepens both the story and your hero's capabilities. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and around 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. Dynasty Warriors Origins Digital Deluxe Edition costs $67.49 and delivers the series' signature large-scale hack-and-slash action, placing you in the role of an amnesiac protagonist caught in the chaos of the Three Kingdoms era. The Digital Deluxe Edition adds exclusive weapons, costumes, and bonus content that give you more options to tailor your playstyle. Battles are massive in scope, letting you carve through waves of enemies while completing objectives that shift dynamically as the fight progresses. The story blends dramatic cutscenes with fast-paced missions, introducing new and familiar faces across the sprawling campaign. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 130 hours to platinum. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii costs $41.99 and blends the series' signature real-time combat and heartfelt storytelling with a breezy, tropical pirate theme. Set in a vibrant Hawaiian locale, it mixes quirky side activities, humorous encounters, and a main plot full of twists and heartfelt character moments. The shift to pirate-inspired mechanics gives exploration and combat a fresh twist, with unique gear and themed battles adding variety. Minigames, collectibles, and side quests make the world feel alive and packed with distractions for when you want to break from the main story. The balance of comedic charm and serious narrative threads gives it a distinctive tone within the Like a Dragon series. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes Digital Deluxe Edition is priced at $27.99 and delivers a sweeping JRPG adventure from the creators of the Suikoden series, featuring over 100 recruitable characters. The Digital Deluxe Edition includes the base game, a digital art book, soundtrack, and special in-game content to enhance your journey. Combat is turn-based with up to 6 party members at once, encouraging strategic synergy between your diverse cast of heroes. The sprawling world is filled with towns to visit, dungeons to explore, and secrets to uncover, with side quests and character stories adding depth to the narrative. It's a 79 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. The first Berserker Kazan Deluxe Edition costs $55.99 and offers a brutal dark fantasy action RPG centered on precise combat and punishing encounters. The Deluxe Edition packs in exclusive armor and weapon skins, plus a digital art book and soundtrack for those who want more from the experience. Every battle demands skillful timing, reading enemy patterns, and mastering your abilities to survive, with bosses that can turn the tide of a fight in moments. Exploration is woven with environmental storytelling, scattered lore, and hidden secrets that deepen the grim tone of the world. It's a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. Insurgency Sandstorm Ultimate Edition is priced at $39.99 and is a team-based tactical first-person shooter focused on intense, close-quarters combat. The Ultimate Edition bundles the base game with the Year 1 and Year 2 passes, adding a wide range of weapon skins, gear, and additional cosmetics for deeper customization. Battles are objective-driven and demand precise aiming, good communication, and careful movement, as the game's low time to kill makes every encounter dangerous. Multiple multiplayer modes and co-op missions against AI opponents offer variety, while the realistic sound design heightens tension and immersion. It's a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 costs $23.99 and is a remastered action RPG set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe, combining hack-and-slash combat with loot-driven progression. You can choose from 5 different characters, each with unique abilities, and fight your way through dungeons, cities, and wilderness areas. The updated release brings smoother performance, improved visuals, and full trophy support, while retaining the cooperative local multiplayer of the original. Combat is fast and responsive, with plenty of weapons, armor, and magical gear to find along the way. Whether you're revisiting an old favorite or diving in for the first time, this is a short but satisfying dungeon crawling adventure. It's a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost On is priced at $29.99 and brings together over 180 playable mobile suits from across the Gundam multiverse for high-speed, arcade-style mecha combat. Matches are fought in 2-on-2 battles, with each suit offering unique weapons, abilities, and playstyles that encourage experimentation. The game's EX Burst system allows for powerful comebacks, rewarding precise timing and aggressive offense. With its large roster, faithful design, and flashy animations, it's a celebration of the Gundam franchise that fans will appreciate. Multiple modes, including online battles and CPU matches, keep the gameplay fresh and competitive for dozens of hours. It's a 78 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. The Smurfs Dreams costs $27.99 and offers a colorful, family-friendly platforming experience inspired by the classic animated series. You'll guide the Smurfs through whimsical dreamscapes, each filled with light puzzles, gentle challenges, and hidden collectibles. The gameplay is accessible enough for younger players while still offering charm for those seeking a relaxing break from more demanding titles. Bright visuals, playful animations, and a cheerful soundtrack create a cozy, approachable vibe that fits the Smurfs perfectly. Short but sweet, it's a laid-back platformer perfect for casual gaming sessions or family play. It's a 77 on Metacritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 7 hours to platinum.